Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Back Tuesday. I'm your boy Tarek, and this is my channel. And I'm just so glad for each and every one of you that have jumped on with me so far. Those of you that'll be coming in, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Again, this is the show where you, the viewer, you the listener, you get to jump on if you want, and have your say about any of the topics that we're talking about. You might have your own topic you want to jump on and talk about. We can divert the conversation that way. But big ups to everyone that is here. Rolo was here early. Ash, big up to you. My guy Adam, big up to everybody. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support each and every week. Um, we're going to get into it. But as always, before we do me a favor if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I am trying to, so I'm at like 170 something. I'm trying to get to 200 by the end of the year, if that's possible. There's only a couple of days left, maybe about a week, 2 weeks left in the year. But if we can pick up 20, 30 subscribers each week, we'll definitely hit that easy. So big ups to everyone. If you would go ahead and hit that button. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, do all the things that content creators need to push the algorithm, to get the show going, all that kind of stuff. Rolo said it's almost midnight for you right now. I appreciate you, man, jumping on here. Recognize that it's late night for you, and you may not be able to stay the whole time. I get it, but I just appreciate you jumping on and showing your boy love. It's a great thing to have people who will take time out of their day to come on here and just chop it up with you. So I appreciate that. All right, we got a lot to get into today. There's a lot that a lot to talk about, but we're gonna start, I think, just kind of recapping the weekend. Of course, City played Crystal Palace. We had a 3-0 win over Crystal Palace. Of course, when the first thing that happens, you get the lineup, the tweet for the lineup. Bit quick to push on a topic, but Man City needs Semenyo. So I do have that on my list of things to talk about, but so let's loop it into this conversation, right? So we were playing Crystal Palace. We see the lineup come out, and the first thing that's noticeable to me when you get the lineup is there's no Jeremy Doku. And so the question is, well, what's going on? Why isn't he playing? To your point about the need for Semenyo, again, a winger who could play in the absence of Jeremy Doku. In this case, we didn't have Semenyo, of course. So the thought would have been that, okay, he's going to put Omar Marmoush in, but that didn't happen either. So it was really interesting to see that, he decided to go with keep Bernardo and kind of bring in Reinders and play Reinders through the midfield. Kind of move Phil kind of on the left. It was really interesting. But that was a little. It's interesting because I've said this on another show, but the fact of the matter is Jeremy Doku has gone from being a guy that no one believed in last season, couldn't get him out of the lineup fast enough. For some people, we couldn't get him out of the club fast enough. To the point where now this season he's become kind of indispensable. So when I personally see the lineup, I'm like kind of bugging out because it's like, wait a minute, where's Jeremy Doku? His what he's giving to the club has changed so dramatically, and it's gone from low to high. It's really impressive to see on his part. But yeah, so when you say, well, we need Semenyo, when you don't have someone who's been as critical to what we do as Jeremy Doku has been this season, yeah, it feels like we need somebody to fill that gap. Now, the reality is Doku's only going to be out. He's out with an injury, but they said it is about 2 to 3 weeks, I believe, is how long he'll be out. So basically, don't know if he will be back before the end of the season, which is I'd have to check to see which games we actually play during that point, during that portion of the season. But yeah, not having him is not good. But in theory, he's back before the window even opens. But again, when you think about the window, you don't think about just one player, or just right now. You're thinking about what's going to be the rest of the season, what's going to be for even next season. Can you get a guy in now that maybe you want for next season, but you have the ability to bring him in now? So you make that decision to go ahead and bring him in now. So there's a lot that we're going to talk about with Semenyo. I do have him on my list of things to talk about a little bit later. Ash says he'll be back for Sunderland, according to Pep. Yeah, so I believe that Sunderland match is like January 1st, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the expectation is that he's going to be back before or right at the new year. So, we just have to navigate not having Doku around for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, we have people like Asavio, we have people, potentially like Oscar Bob and others, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit, because we'll talk about. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Anyone can join the stream. Yeah. So the real me CFC, I'm assuming that means you're a Chelsea fan, but there is a link for anyone that's listening or watching. There is a link in the chat. It is a pinned message, so it should be at the very top. Go all the way to the top. There should be a message with the link. Click that link. It'll pop you into StreamYard and Backstage, and then I'll bring you on the screen. You just need a mic and ideally a camera if you have it. But a lot of people don't come on camera. They just come on audio only. So that is an option. But yeah, if you want to jump on, hit the button. Now don't come on talking crazy. No, I'm just kidding. Come on and say what you got to say. The point of this is for everybody to have their chance to be able to say what they want to say. Sometimes that's going to be banter. That's going to be all the things. So yeah, if you want to jump on, go ahead and do it. Okay, let's see. Big up. How you doing?
How are you?
Doing all right. So this is the real me. Now it says CFC. So are you a Chelsea fan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you. I know this is a Man City channel.
Nah, hey, it doesn't disappoint me. This is really intended for any and everybody. So not disappointing to me at all. You know what? I'm just glad you're here. So I love it. I appreciate it. So Chelsea, tell me about how Chelsea's doing this season. What are your thoughts on how the season is going so far for you guys?
It's a really good question. I think Chelsea, given the context, I think a lot of people do fail to mention this. And are you based in the US?
I am.
You are. So you are familiar with college soccer?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I played D1 college.
Okay, where'd you play?
Played at University of Rhode Island.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
What position? Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Winger?
No worries. I'm a winger.
All right. That's big ups.
Yeah. It was dope. It was a good experience. But not good enough to go pro. And honestly, I don't think I wanted to go pro. I think my dream died.
Yeah, in the US, I don't know if you're from the US originally or not, but you played here obviously. But in the US, a lot of people, it is a pathway to college. It is a way to get college paid for. My daughter played from little kid all the way up through high school. And she decided that it was over for her at high school. She could have gone into play in college. She probably wouldn't have gone D1, being honest. But she could have played, D2, D3 for sure. But it was that's not what she wanted. And so we changed.
Yeah. That's what I did as well. And they paid for school.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Chelsea, I think something people fail to really realize is that it is the youngest team in the Premier League history ever, right? And I don't think there's a sport out there where anyone expects, young players to basically, deliver, right? And win things, right? Because experience, age, and all those, stuff really matters in sports, right? You wouldn't expect what's his name? I don't know, some NBA rookie to perform like Steph Curry or LeBron James, right? And this is the toughest league in the world, right? And And a lot of times people forget to mention that, because I think that's that truly like matters, and it really shows in the way we play. Like, if you look at the games that we drop points off this year, excluding some of the ones that we had red cards, like Man United, we drop points to Sunderland, Bournemouth, Leeds United, right? These are all weak teams, but then we go and get points off Arsenal, we get points off Barcelona, we get points off Liverpool, right? And this is like a mindset of it's a mindset of like young players. Like, when your team is not mature enough, when you go out and play, like, a lot of times when it's a big game, they're like locked in, right? When it's a small game, when it's not against a big team, they're like, the mentality basically changes, right? And that's something that you have to learn with time and experience as you get older. And hence why I think we've been really inconsistent this season, and last season as well.
Young players are always going to have their ups and their downs.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to get your inconsistencies. And I think everybody should understand that and expect it to an extent. They're not going to be the final product at the end, right from the very beginning. So
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And I think but what's also like frustrating as a Chelsea fan right now is, they performed the way they did against Arsenal, right? We didn't get the win, but it was definitely a performance to be proud of, right? 10 men at home against, arguably the best team in the world right now. And yeah, and when they perform like that, right, we get points of big teams, it kind of gives us hope, like, oh shit, like we might actually be heading somewhere, right? And then we fall off, at the next, like, Leeds game. So it's been frustrating, and as a Chelsea fan, but I think it might be time that we might accept reality, that we're not really title contenders just yet for those reasons. And I do believe there's like many different ways to like win the title, right? Like, remember how Manchester City won the title when no one expected it? There was, the Man City team that got like 100 points, right? There's different ways to win the title, right? And anything can happen, but yeah, being a Chelsea fan has been frustrating.
So you guys got the win today. Before we go there, big up to Martin, jumped on stage with us, and then I apologize if I butcher your name. Is it Huang Trong? He's on as well. So big ups to you guys. If Huang doesn't say anything, then we'll
Evening, mate.
bring him back off and bring him back on at a later point. Big ups, Martin. Appreciate you. So Real Me CFC is a Chelsea fan who jumped on with me. So I have a question for you from Rolo, who says, why am I seeing other Chelsea fans, not necessarily you, but Chelsea fans say Esteval and comparing him to Lamine Yamal?
Come on, bro. Like, I don't think anyone is really serious about that. Like, how it be when you win in a big game, and the goal he scored against Barcelona, right? Like, people get their emotions get the best of them and say things that they don't really mean. He's definitely nowhere near Lamine Yamal. He definitely has a lot of potential, for sure, but he's nowhere near Lamine Yamal at all.
So let me ask this question, and Martin, feel free to jump in at any point too. So I saw a tweet, I think it was, that said Man City were interested in making a bid for Lamine Yamal, £100+ million bid. Would you take that deal? 100 million?
No. That's a joke.
You don't. So you don't know how he's going to continue to progress. You just said earlier that he's a young kid and young kids are inconsistent. You don't know if he's going to ever become what Lamine Yamal is. Even if you think his trajectory
you said Man City is making the bid for Lamine Yamal?
It's no for Esteval.
Oh, for Esteval. Oh, you said
Yeah.
Lamine. You said
No,
Lamine.
Estival. Sorry if I was confusing. There's a rumor. Again, I don't know that I put any
Yeah.
real stock in it, but 100 million for Estival. Would you take that?
No,
And
I
let's
would
say
not.
in the summer, would you take 100 million today in the summer for what Estival could become?
Definitely not. I honestly think like Esteval after uh, Palmer and Caicedo is probably the most important player in our team. I don't
100
think
million can buy you a lot of players.
that's true, but I think he's worth the risk. He was already like pretty cheap. We got him for like 30 something mil, right? Like, if it doesn't play out, it doesn't. But it's not worth the risk reward in this case. It's not great in my opinion.
Gotcha.
I would definitely keep him.
All right.
Um,
Uh, Sorry. Go. You anything else you wanted to say? And you're welcome to stay
yeah,
on, but I'm gonna bring Martin in, and then I'm gonna bring Wong back on as well.
no worries. I just wanted to I wanted to hop on because you were talking about Semenyo. And I kind of have my thoughts on that. I think Semenyo is gonna flop if he goes to a big club, in my opinion.
What is it
Um,
about his game that you think won't translate to a big club?
I think he's a really good runner. I think he has a really powerful shot. Like he has a shot in him, but in terms of like playing in small spaces, like when you go play for Man City as a winger, you're gonna play roadblocks like 99% of the times, right? And you need wingers who can navigate through different players, multiple players, right? The like what Doku does, what Mahrez used to do, and I don't think Semenyo is that type of player. Like his touch is he's a pretty clumsy player. I think he's a really good player in transition. Like he would probably be really good at Man U, but not at Man City.
So just because of the low blocks.
Just because of low blocks, right? Because
All right.
the teams will play you differently than how they play Bournemouth, right? And we've seen that. Like this is my biggest problem, Pedro Neto, right? Pedro Neto at Wolves was a monster. Like when we got him, I was like so excited. But then you come to realization, like teams don't play Chelsea like they play Wolves. They usually sit back and the play style, how a player plays usually changes. And he's actually talked about this, and he said, "I had to adapt to dribbling in small spaces because of low blocks." Yeah, that was my 2 cents. Thank you for
No.
having me on.
Yeah.
I'll watch the show.
I appreciate you, man. Always welcome. Like I said, you can hang out and just join in the conversation if you want. If you want to drop back off, that's fine too. I'll leave it up to you. But I appreciate you jumping on. Again, for anybody that's new that hasn't been here before, or you just joined the stream, there is a link that if you want to jump on, there is a link that is pinned in the chat at the top. You should be able to click that link. It'll bring you on. You'll jump on like Real Me CFC did, like Wong did. So and like my guy Martin did. So what's up, Martin?
Evening. You all right?
Doing all right, man. Appreciate you. Always glad to have you.
Good, good. What was talking about? Oh, we on.
So we were getting ready to get into we were talking like just a recap of the Crystal Palace match, and then someone brought up Semenyo, and so it's kind of how we got into the Semenyo conversation, and then that's when Real Me CFC jumped on. But is it Wong? Is that the right way to say it?
Yes, Huang, how you doing,
Wang,
man?
appreciate you, man. Glad to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for having me on.
Anything specific that you came on that you wanted to talk about, or you just wanted to just be a part of the conversation in general?
A bit of both. Like I'll say about the Crystal Palace game. I was at the game on Sunday.
Okay.
So for what I got out of it personally, I felt like I'll say first half we never really got going personally, and Crystal Palace did have some really good chances, especially with Yeremy Pino. I think it would have been offside anyway.
Yep.
And then it hit the bar. It was like a warning sign to us, and I think like if and we didn't really get going until like and in Crystal Palace they played very very well, and I thought Wharton and Kamada they were playing very very well, and then I feel like. And then we didn't really. I think like we had one good chance, and that was of course with Nunes crossing the ball for Haaland, and that was like Haaland's first shot on target, and they produced a goal. And it just shows you how good just shows you how good our attack is. I feel like yeah, you could definitely say maybe from an outside perspective, saying like Haaland could be quiet all day, all game, but all he needs is just one chance. That's all he needs. And then and then Crystal Palace will probably figure to themselves how we are 1-0 down. I just feel like it was more like Crystal Palace were very wasteful and City took their chances better.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've described it as us being very much a bend but don't break type of defense or defensively. We give up a lot of chances, and sometimes they're pretty good chances. But then a lot of times we have one of the world's best shot stoppers behind us, and so it's like, okay, we'll take that because we know he's going to stop a lot of them too. But yeah, there's probably more chances that we give up than maybe I would be comfortable with or I would like. But when you give up as many chances as we did and still end up with a 3-0 victory, keeping that clean sheet, it just says that, hey, chances in and of themselves aren't everything. And so, yeah, it wasn't pretty to watch in the beginning, and we were under a lot of pressure, and I was a little nervous about that, but the boys came through. Now, you talked about Haaland. I think so. Haaland, of course, scores that header off of the cross from Nunez. It feels to me like Haaland has gotten much better with his heading. Is that do you see that as well? Do you believe that, or am I wrong?
I think I think before he signed with us, his heading. I think one of his deficiencies in his game was his heading, and because I read an article, I read it before he signed for us. I read some articles that his heading was his weakness, and I just felt like if he can work on that side of the game, then he'll be unstoppable. Because we all know about his finishing. His finishing is how ruthless he is up front with the ball. Is when he's ready to put his foot through the ball. But I feel like his heading was something to be worked on. But I feel like I feel like it's gotten better and better and better now. And because obviously with the presence that he has and the height he has, he should be able to head the ball. But I feel like he's gotten much better with his heading as since he's been with us as well. And I feel like he's got more better. I feel like his intelligence has gone up a notch as well. I think what people don't give him credit for enough for me is that how smart he is. Like knows when to pick up, when to run, and when not to do it, and and he can read the passes and the shots very well as well. I think he's on 147 goals now. He's just 3 away from 150 for the club, which makes him all time. I mean, like I'm just reading. Sorry, let me just bring up something right here. I'm just reading it from the. Because hold on, I think I got it right here. Because it's just so great. I think and of course we want to congratulate Bunny Shaw for becoming the first women's player to enter the 100 club.
You jumped ahead in my notes, but let's do it. I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's something to be recognized. Like it's just like. It's not just the men's team that I get behind. I get behind the women's team. I get behind the academy, and of course the under 23s, under 18s. I want to see how they're doing, see who could be the future star to get it. Of course, there's also the Intercontinental Cup tonight, between Manchester City and Real Madrid. It ended 1-1.
On the women's.
Before I let you mention that, of course, Marcelo's son, the former Real Madrid left back, his son was playing tonight, and he was at the stadium. Nico Riley actually was at the stadium too, watching the under 23s playing, and I thought of course there's some interesting players. Mfuni and Mukasa, who are usually with them, they weren't in the squad tonight. Yeah, so my guess is that they'll probably be in the squad for tomorrow against Brentford as well. So back to Haaland. He's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 8th place in the all-time top goal scorers in Manchester City history. So the next on the list is the great legendary Francis Lee. He's on 148, which he's probably going to get past. And then he's got Billy Meredith and Johnny Hayes to beat. They're on 152. And of course, the legendary King Colin Bell with 153. and then you got and he's got that to beat, and then he's got Tommy Johnson with 166, and Eric Book with 177 goals, and of course you got the legend himself, Mr. Sergio Kun Aguero with 260. I think by the end of the season, I think he'll probably end up being top 3 at the top goal scorers at the end of the season if he keeps going at this rate. So yeah, it's just incredible because his numbers are just incredible, and he's only been here for like what? He's only in his 4th season.
Yeah, I should have pulled this up earlier
Yeah.
when you were going through it. This is the tweet that I saw. To your point, Bunny Shaw here on 103. I guess I should do it here. I don't know if it shows it on the screen or not, but 103 goals for Bunny Shaw ties her with the great Sean Goder. So, and I think they are both tied for 20th on the all-time goal scoring records for Man City. But I love the fact that the club included her in this this image, right? Because it's one club. We have a women's team, a men's team, but it's one club. On our show on Shades of Blue, we call ourselves the self-proclaimed most comprehensive show or podcast for Man City, and we do that because we do talk the women's team, we do talk the men's team as well, of course. But yeah, we like to say it's one club, one city, one passion, right? They're played the same way. They have the same passion for the game. A lot of times you'll see the same, like some of the same not plays, but kind of the play style. It looks the same. Everything that we do as a club, it's very much holistic, and so I appreciate them putting her in this image here.
I think it's incredible. I mean, like, I think Bunny Shaw's just been on it. She's been on fire this season. And
she was the first woman to reach 100 goals for the club.
Yeah.
Of course, like you said, she ended 103. She's got 12 goals so far this season, and she is well on track to win her 3rd straight WSL Golden Boot. So it sounds like you might be in the Manchester area. So I have a question for you, or even you're in the UK. I have a question for you since you brought up kind of the women's club. Or the women's team, how do we get more City fans to support the women? And I say that because for big matches like the Manchester Derby or whatever, right? If that game is played at Old Trafford, it's full. Old Trafford is full. When Chelsea plays at Stamford Bridge, it's full. When Arsenal play at the Emirates, it's full. Not so much Man City. Now we get a decent crowd, don't get me wrong, but it's not full, right? So how do we get more people to support not just City men, but also City women? Because we have some exceptional footballers on that side that we want to support as well, right? So that's a question not just for you, but anybody in the chat. You can throw that in the chat and tell me.
For me personally, I would say, like, because there are some pretty good, there's amazing talented players in the women's team as well, and I feel like I think a lot more focus is on the men's team, and of course rightly so, but I do feel the women's team should have equal attention, if not more as well, because they are doing some big things as well, and I have been keeping an eye on the women's results, as much as the men's and the youth team as well, because I really want to see what goes on, not just not just with the men's team. I want to see what's going on with the women's team. I want to see what's going on with the youth team. And I feel like, because I watched the youth team, the under-23s going tonight against Real Madrid 1-0. I mean, it was 1-1, sorry, and I thought it did well. And of course, Madrid went down to 10 men, I think in the 63rd minute, and could have chances to win it, but unfortunately, wasn't to be. But hopefully, just get better and better from them. And I feel like I feel like the women's team does deserve more attention. I think to do that, it's like, I think there's got to be more. I don't know, just more. I would say more enthusiasm towards the men's team. And I think as much as we have shown much of our passion and support towards the men's, I think the women's team should be equally supported as well.
I mean, and I agree. And obviously, you can't make a person support a team that they don't support. Maybe somebody's just not interested in women's football, and that's their prerogative. But, I hope that as more and more people get exposed to the women's game and to the women's team, that they realize it's not, they're playing the same game. They have like I said, a lot of the same characteristics. We have probably the world's best striker on the men and the women's side. And so there's a lot of similarities and a lot of things for people to get behind and to really support. But, again, I just think as a club, we got to keep doing and we're on track to win the league. The women are on track to win the league. They're, I think, 7 points up. So they just got to continue to do what they've been doing. Hopefully no big injuries and they can win the league this season.
It's too hard.
Season for the women's team was a bit chaotic, both on and off the pitch, sadly. But now that's pretty much in the past right now, and hopefully, the women's team can go on and.
What were you saying, Martin?
Yeah. I mean, Tong's point, I get it. I get what people are saying. The women's game is never going to be anywhere near as big as the men's.
Yeah,
it's just not. I don't think the club put the same emphasis on the women either.
Yeah, and again, I'm not there to go to matches, and again, like I said, the Joy Stadium seems to be pretty well attended when they're there. So I don't want this to come across as me criticizing, because that's not the intent. I just want to see those players be supported just as enthusiastically, just as effusive as everybody else is.
The women play on a Sunday. I know they don't play.
Well, that's the big issue. Scheduling is
the problem. The men and the women are on generally sometimes same weekend.
Yeah.
And if City men's are away, you'll make a weekend out of it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. This is gonna sound old, but you're not gonna rush back to go and watch the women's team. No. Some will, and I get it. But what you'll find is you'll very rarely see the people who are at the men's and then are at the women's. What you'll tend to find to happen is the people who can't get the tickets for the men's team will go to the women's because it's easier to get the tickets for.
Yeah.
I think the price is also an issue. I was just looking then. It's 15 quid to go and watch Chelsea and Liverpool for an adult. Now, if you are spending that on a men, for two people to go, it's 30 quid.
Yeah. The two issues that Martin's just brought up there were the two I was going to bring up.
Big ups, Magnus.
It's hard. It's just not. It's not.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, mate. It's trying to say it the right way because it should, but I'm going to be straight. You want me to be totally honest?
Yeah.
There is still the stigma of it's the women's game in the UK.
Oh, that's fair.
That is still there.
Let me say, I think it's a fair observation, right? I think that, again, like I said, you can't make a person be interested in something that they're not interested in. So you just can't. But again, I think that the play on the pitch, the game itself is the game. It's the same game, men, women, and whatever.
Don't view it that way, though.
But it feels different, right? And so you have to learn to. It's just like, so I'm a girl dad, right? I got all girls. I don't have any boys. So I've become accustomed to watching women sports in general because I did it with my kids growing up, and still do. So for me, I've become accustomed to that. And there are things about the women's game that I can appreciate more than maybe the men's game in some situations. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to give up the men to just only watch women. I can appreciate it. And so I just want to be able to help. How do we help others to appreciate it? Because again, I would hate for us, as much as I'm an American, right? I live in America. I would hate for Bunny Shaw to leave Man City and come play in the US in NWSL. I would hate for that.
You're killing me. That you just made the point I was going to make as well. Right. Firstly, right, you have a situation. You're born and bred in the States. Okay, Tarek. The women's game
is
really
bigger.
Is bigger in the States than it is in the UK.
Yeah,
it always has been. Traditionally, when I was at high school, girls never even played the game. Okay, different in the States, and you've got a history of winning World Cups with the women. Okay, now the game is slowly but surely catching up in the UK, and that's great. And I like to see it as it's good. But I think just like a boxing match, you're gonna have underscore on the ticket. That will be like how we would view in England, and I think Martin will go along with me on this. We will see that if there's a game that the City women are playing on the same day as the City men are playing, it'll be seen as like the undercard, So it's just the way it is.
They either play before or they play after.
Yeah. And I think that piggybacking the men's game, the timing of the game, and I don't know how much input the club can have on something like that, might be the kind of best way forward. But to be honest, it's got to probably be the earlier kickoff for the women, and you might get your parents taking the kids to that, and then we're going to the real game now. We're going to the real game. We're going to the boys' game now.
Go, and that's so here in the States, high school basketball, let's say, is this is the high school basketball season right now. And on Friday nights, you're gonna have the girls' game first. And then if you hang around, you can stay and watch the boys' game. And the boys' game is seen as like you said, the main attraction.
You have to pay separate tickets for those, though.
No, you would get in for free. You pay one ticket, you get to watch the whole game. But so over there, you wouldn't get that, right?
No, you don't. And not only that, because it used to be, now they did this on the reserves. I don't know if they still do it for the EDS. If you were a season ticket holder, you got in the EDS free.
I'm just thinking now. I wonder how that would work if they use the same stadium.
Well, since Soriano's come in,
oh God!
Since Soriano's come in, my little best mate, who's a money grabbing little sod, has decided.
Tell us how you really feel, Mark.
I can make some money here. Well, it's all money making.
Yeah.
The thing is, you very rarely hear about, even in the stadium. And Hung knows this. There's no advertisement of the women hardly on a men's game. You don't hear about it. They don't advertise it. They'll advertise the EDS before they advertise the women's.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I know Natalie Pike tries to do a little best to push it as much as she can, but there is just, you just said it. It's like, because I know someone who goes all the time, but they take their daughters. They've got 2 daughters. So the mum goes with daughters.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's into the men's.
Yeah.
She has no interest in the women's. And I said, why? She went, because there is, unfortunately, it's going to sound so sexist, but it's not meant to be sexist, but it's true. The women's game over there is still looked upon as an inferior product. Mm-hmm. You've still got that misogynistic attitude.
Stigma? Is it stigma?
It's like Douglas Luiz's missus. Who's got
They're
looking at the way she looks more than they're looking at the way she plays football. And this is the sad part of this. We live in 2025, but we still have a 1930s attitude to certain things.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I'm interested. I mean, just like the women, they are away to West Ham on Sunday. It's a 1:00 kickoff. I double checked the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm correct, I hope. I don't know how to get me. Maybe I could. But I'm definitely going to look out for that for the lots of that one.
And what you'll find is it is generally the one thing because I know a couple of people who go. It's the same crowd who goes to the women's game because they always go home, they go away, and it is generally the same. You very rarely get new people going. It's like the proper hardcore, and some of it is because they can't get into the men's, so they just want to support anything Manchester City.
That's fair. You probably get a lot of you talk about the the day trippers or the people who are.
Well, that's the thing. Day trippers don't go to the women's games, Tariq.
I was like, if you couldn't get tickets to the men, would you just go?
No.
I mean, again,
no,
it's interesting
because they're not. This is the thing with and I hate calling them day trippers.
I was trying to think of a different word, but the
nobody
tourist or whatever.
Yeah, no one sits in a women's game with the camera up in the air taking photos of a car or a video of a carnival flag. You just don't do it. A men's game, they do. in the men's game, there's a
Yeah.
big thing. No, I mean, even when, you know, the end of the season, when we probably win the league, you know, touch wood, and we do the trophy lift, won't be packed.
See, that's disappointing. And because again, I just saw Arsenal make a big deal about
Arsenal
their
huge
women.
win.
Yeah,
Arsenal.
their women won. And so when, you know, again, you see the videos on YouTube of like Ty, right? Everybody knows Ty from AFTV or whatever.
Mhm.
You ask him about, the trophy. Oh, he's like he's a big time. He's probably just a Arsenal fan. Arsenal super fan, or anything Arsenal he's going to support. He was at the trophy celebration. They made it a big deal because, quite honestly, they haven't seen a trophy lift on the men's side in a long time. So you're going to go over there and celebrate. We want to celebrate, and they're trying to like almost quote unquote take credit for it on the men's side, which they didn't win it. But I appreciate the fact that they went out there, and I just, like I said, I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want it to.
You are true, Tariq. To be fair, Arsenal fill the Emirates, Chelsea fill Stamford Bridge. We only play in the Etihad at the big games. So the Derby, Chelsea game. The Liverpool game is at the Joey Stadium.
Right. So like the for the Derby, it's like, well, how come we couldn't fill the stadium for the Derby? Because again, if nothing else, we just hate Man U in all of its incarnations, right? However Man U show up, we just hate it. So men, women, boys, girls, it doesn't matter. We hate it if it's got a Man U.
There's not that passion behind it. Because I'm subscribed to a couple of to Shades Blue Network, by the way. I do a great job with this.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And Chunk and the guys for all that. But like you go on and you have other supporters of women's clubs to come on.
Mm-hmm,
It's a proper adult, casual, nice chat.
Yeah, Stefan.
You try and do that on a man's one.
Yeah.
It's you're a dickhead, and everyone starts flying around, and they all go all emotional,
fair.
and they all go crazy. They don't do that in the women.
No,
there doesn't seem to be that emotional attachment behind it. If City women don't win the league, City women didn't win a bean last season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear any meltdown about it? Anyone going, sack this? Gareth Taylor got sacked for a different
different reason.
I'm going to be very careful now when I word this, because yes, I do know.
So chaotic, both on and off the pitch for the City women's team.
It was off the pitch though. Why he went?
I was going to say,
you very diplomatic.
Send me that in the group in the WhatsApp, because I want to know, because I have some ideas.
By the way, just so I do it, Chloe Kelly's not watching this issue before I really.
I see. I was going to say I have some ideas. I have some ideas. But
I was going to say about Chloe Kelly. I mean, it is a bit shameful the way she left Man City. It was very shameful the way she left. I don't want to go into it in much detail, but I just want to say it is very shameful the way she left.
Yeah, there is still. This is going to sound so sad. There's still that men-women stigma thing going on.
Yeah,
there is, and I hate it. There is. But for example, like you just said it, we've got Bunny Shaw, the greatest ever striker in the women's game right now, in my opinion. You have Erling Haaland. You never really hear about Bunny Shaw. City don't even push it out that much.
Which is why I was glad to see them put her on that image with the men. They didn't put her on an image all by herself. She's the only. No, they put her in there with all the rest of the men as a club. These are all of our 100 goal club, whatever. So I appreciated that.
I'll give you a real perfect example. You know the extension we're doing at the minute?
Yes.
There's an extension process going on over on the CFA as well.
I never heard of it.
The majority of that CFA thing is for the women's game. The building women's facilities and the building a new training complex and places to stay and all that. This is not me being big up, by the way. I'm the only channel who's mentioned it over there in the UK. I'm the only one who's talked about it. Like showing the clips in the video. No one talks. I'm telling you now, if I did a video tomorrow on City women and I did a video on City men, I know which one I'm getting the views on.
Yeah. And that's a shame, because the overall pot of money that is coming into the club, a portion of that, we should all want to know how this money is being divided and where it's going.
It's a teardrop in an ocean what the women get.
Yeah.
It's still, you know, because I've been to America and I've seen training facilities over there for the women and everything else. We are 30 years behind, mate.
But it's interesting because like a lot of so over here, all of our sports, they're very much, you know, focused on the money, right? Less about winning the league, more about making money. And so even like in NWSL, which is our women's league over here, they're potentially going to lose some of their biggest stars because they have basically capped how much money they can make. Trinity Rodman is the big name right now that they're literally trying to change the rules so she doesn't go over to most likely England, but to Europe in general. So a lot of times they go to France, but a lot of players are showing up in England. Most of them, it feels like, at least going to Chelsea. But then you have some like Trinity Rodman was potentially mentioned as a someone that might end up at Arsenal. So yeah, I mean, again, there, to your point, I think there is a difference in the way women's sports in general are viewed between the US and the rest of the world. And part of that is because in the US we have this rule, I think it's Title IX. So in colleges, you have to have almost like an equal number, a certain number of women's sports for every men's sport or for every spot that are on those sports. So we have been pushing women's sports in general, but women's football for years, and which is why we've won those World Cups. We felt like we had a bit of a head start, but the rest of the world is catching up, and so you start to see that in the Women's World Cup and other situations like that, where hey, we're not running over teams anymore. And England did really well at this last World Cup, and I think they just win the Euros, I think. So you got they're there or thereabouts, and so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I'm just having a look now. On the
it
City,
continues to
you
develop.
do this. Go on the City, go on the mancity.com and go on the front page.
Yeah.
You can all do this at home. So the main headline is the 8-minute highlight reel of City Real Madrid. How can I watch City TV? Score like an Egyptian. Manchester City versus Brentford. 5 tickets. Palace City results. EDS, interview with Pep, men's team features, club news, men's team. The women's team is what you just said, the 100 one. Yeah. It's near the bottom of the page. Unless you go into the actual women's section.
Yeah.
City don't push this a lot. Is there anything there about buy women's tickets?
Yeah,
what were the City women's results?
Yeah, so Bunny Shaw,
right at the bottom.
There's
right
the full match replay there. But yeah, so then, like you said, all the way
it's
down
like
here.
It's like you know that it's like the stepchild that you want to keep hidden in a basement and you don't want to hear about them, and we'll just stick them in the corner, if you know what I mean. They're still there.
And again, I'm not suggesting, and I don't think anyone is suggesting that you know, the men's team is the bigger draw. I don't think that's a surprise. I don't think that's a shock. I don't think anyone is trying to say that that's not the case.
We'll go on the Arsenal one. Go on Arsenal.com.
The women.
Yeah.
What's front and center, Tariq?
Yeah, that's a
I then go
fair
down.
statement. That is a fair statement. Yeah. Wow.
Was the middle of the page.
Women get more thing because they actually promote it.
Because I look how far I had to scroll down to get to Arsenal 2-1 over Wolves. And again, maybe they're just embarrassed about that, and there's like we don't want to talk about it. So push that all the way down. You know,
I like the way you do that. I like that.
I still, for me, despite all this, I still want to acknowledge Bunny Shaw for her incredible
for sure.
achievement.
I
mean, like I still,
of course we do. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not taking.
I think like I think for me personally, I think she deserves a lot of recognition for that. For me personally, I think she scored 103 goals for the club. Like I said, incredible achievement for her. and let's just hope for more goals for her going forward. And let's
Well,
hope for a goal.
Realistically, how high could she go? I mean, what's the
When-
contract?
Well,
Well,
her contract I think ends at the end of the season. So we have been desperately on contract watch, and a lot of City women players have renewed recently. She's just not been one. And so we've been hoping, hey, maybe they're going to give us a contract at Christmas. But there was a interview that the new manager did, and he was asked about it. He said they're working really hard on it. So there's still a chance. But Martin, we talk about Rodri and his contract situation every time we get on a show, right? So there's a potential that she may end up leaving. And we're hoping that they can figure out how to get the money to a place where it's worth it for her to stay.
Is anyone going to get Bunny Spill on a new contract?
Oh well, yeah. I hope she does. I hope she gets. I hope she gets.
Do you know what? I hate saying it, and I'm not even trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be.
No, I get it.
Hong's right. We should be celebrating it. But the trouble is, it's very hard for Manchester City fans to celebrate it when the club put it as second and third level down.
Yep, that's a fair statement. So
they're not helping themselves.
Wong, I appreciate you bringing that up because again, I do talk about the women quite often, pretty much every week on my other show with Shades of Blue. So I appreciate you.
Kronk told me a lot about it. Kronk told me.
Okay.
He's been speaking to me about it, about the women's game, and I definitely hit up. I asked him what's going on with that, and then I know when Bunny Shaw, he definitely celebrated on that one. I'll definitely speak to him.
I'm having a look on YouTube right now, and I've just put in Man City women. Top searches: Barclays Women's Super League, Barclays Women's Super League, Barclays Women's Super League, PL Studio. AFTV Extra do some stuff. No one does videos on them.
Yeah, a little bit of a shameful. I just don't think the club are helping it themselves for not pushing it hard enough. Sadly,
try harder, City. Try harder.
No, it's not just like the fan. No one does videos on City women. Because I'll tell you why it's interesting for me. Because when we first set up the channel, might even still be on the bloody page. We were going to talk about the men, the women, the EDS. And we started it for 2 days. And the feedback I got was nobody's going to watch the women videos. Nobody's going to watch the EDS videos.
Yeah. No, I think that is a fair
it's sad.
It's an honest assessment about where we are, right? And I think there's more that the club can do. To encourage people.
Tariq. It's a sad indictment of where we are still.
Yeah, but I do want to give them credit because I was not sure if they were going to make a big deal about her scoring that, in breaking.
If she went to Arsenal, mate, it'd be on billboards, page, back page, website, the old kick-a-boodle.
So my hope is that this is the start of a new, kind of a City pushing this new impetus behind it or whatever. So we'll see if it actually, if it's just one and done or not. But
and by the way, perfect example is like Ang just said. Look at the way Chloe Kelly's been embraced at Arsenal and the way she was at City on the way out. I get there was things behind.
I was going to say I think there's some other stuff going on there, but
I don't want to go into it because I personally don't know. But I'm going to say
Arsenal made a very big deal about the
all I can say is it's just very shameful the way she left City. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I think there was shame on both sides.
I was going to say I think it's a little bit of because
it was a very bad breakup. It was a very nasty breakup in the end.
And I think there was like one point. I think when City beat Arsenal, City women beat Arsenal. I need to put that out there. I think Chloe Kelly did a shameless post about winning the women's.
Yeah, there's you can tell that there is some bad blood.
I think I can tell.
There's she's not happy about it, and so again, it's her right to.
Anyway, I'm going to drop in fact. Can I just quick thing on Palace?
Yeah, absolutely.
Those ones. You know what? I'm actually a little bit opposite. I don't. All this Palace had chances, I get it, but I'm going to look at it a different way. I think City's defensive line was spot on for the first time in a long time. Because, I had this debate with Alan last night about this, we did create a chance for you, but Even if they'd have scored those chances, they'd have been offside.
Right.
And I don't think, as fans, I don't think we look at it as chances of giving up. It was like there was a goal earlier on in the season that was ruled offside. And I can't remember where it was. The one where Stones and Diaz pushed out. Was it Stones and Diaz? The line pushed out.
Yeah, they pushed out. It was perfect. Yes.
Yeah. And nobody talks about how great the line was and how measured it was. Everyone was like, but they scored a goal. But they didn't. It was offside. Offside is a thing. Offside is a skill.
Offside trap is a tactic.
Yeah, it is. It's what people work on that in training. Coaches, I used to spend hours doing it on a Sunday league situation. I spent hours doing it. And that's where people, I think, fall down for me of they look at the chance, they don't look at, because defending is like a bit of a dirty word. The art of defending isn't praised enough. The art of defending isn't looked upon as a skill that you have to learn, and you do.
100%.
You have to do it, and that is what gets to me is, and they go, well, you hit the post. And I don't expect to go to Palace and not give up chances.
Right.
How many
games
games?
to go to the Bernabeu and not give up chances. I'm not saying, what I care about is, and I think this is my big thing with all football fans. This, I'll just say, we emphasize the negatives now more than we emphasize the positives. We come out of the game winning 2-1 or 3-0 or 4-0, and all we do is emphasize what goes on bad in the game. And I'm like,
that's fair.
Are we ever going to get to the 4 goals we've scored, or the 3 goals we've scored, or winning the game? Or is that coming up at any point? And you're like, okay.
In all fairness, man, I agree with you that one. Especially, I think with Real Madrid last week, I was there for the game. I think obviously you knew that already. Like I saw, I think maybe second half especially. Real Madrid didn't look like scoring from where I was watching.
I thought we were comfortable second half.
Very. I can't even believe. I mean, like how often is like. I mean, any win at the Bernabeu, I'll take it all day long, even if it's without Mbappe.
Spot on.
Like, if you think about it this way, like, I want to acknowledge this way. Yes, Madrid are not going through the greatest of periods right now, and yes, Xabi Alonso's under massive pressure, and yes, Mbappe was not fit enough to be available. But at the same time, Madrid is still Madrid.
Yep.
On Champions League nights, especially, they always turn up.
That is their competition.
And did you get what I mean by the anthem?
Yeah,
when the anthem rings out,
that anthem is still ringing in my head.
Like, and
it's still ringing in my head. But
that is awesome.
But we were so comfortable against Madrid. They did not look. There was a fan next to me, and he said it right now. He said they don't look like scoring behind. Don't worry, we got this. It's still it's because it's still Madrid, still it's up. Because I think, but of course, like what I got from the Madrid fans when I was there. That they weren't confident, they weren't comfortable, they weren't confident going into this game. They didn't feel confident that they could actually beat us. And in my mind, I was like, well, I hope we win. I mean, by the end of the day, Madrid is Madrid, and I'm just glad. Look, my first ever UEFA Champions League games to watch live, and it came out of a win. And it came out of a win. Go, you can check out my vlogs on my channel, and you can check out my.
How did you feel doing the Poznan in the Bernabeu?
Oh, incredible, Mr.
By the way, I never thought I'd see that.
Yeah, incredible, Martin. Of course, like I thought I'd let you know this. Like, I met a couple of fans. Like, we had fans from France, City fans from France that went to the game. I met a City fan that flew from the States, Lansing, Michigan. He was at the game. A City fan flew from Hong Kong. He went there. He was at the game. A couple of people, like obviously from Manchester as well, London, and I met a guy Romania. He flew for the game as well. So like basically, there's City fans all over the world.
All over the world. Lansing, Michigan is about 2 hours from where I live.
Michigan,
about 2 hours north of me.
So I met him, and he flew in just for the game, and I was like, oh, awesome, man. And like he came to the game, and like it was incredible, like such a great experience. Like to go to the Bernabeu for my first ever Champions League game and to come out of a win. And I think I got told you should go to the Bernabeu every time. I was like, well, that's if we play them again. But I would definitely attend more Champions League games. In the future as well. My channel's name it's Huang_Trong. Check out all my vlogs from the games that I've attended so far. It's on there. I attended the Real Madrid match. I did 10 Palace. and I will be attending more games in the future as well, 100%. And yes, please subscribe, show some love and support. So it's all good at the moment. I'm on my way to 500 subscribers, so just hope I get there as well. So yes, that's the goal
Well
right
done,
now. So
Wang.
yeah,
Well done.
please check out the channel, please, and like I would love your support, like from all over the world. It's incredible. Yeah, so it's incredible to watch it live. So I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. I
go for
was gonna say, make sure you put your channel information in the chat so everybody can see it
it.
there.
I'll do it now.
Yeah,
Actually, I'll
that
do
way
it.
people can go and support.
Don't you feel it was the perfect time to go and play Real Madrid?
For me personally, I probably would say so, but but I can't deny this to you. I was still twitchy and nervous ahead of the game because it's Real Madrid. It's the UEFA Champions League. That's still going to be in my head going into a game like this. I hope you forgive me on that part.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Like you think about, because like I know they didn't have Mbappe. I know that, but I just felt, because I feared the worst after going a goal down when Rodrigo scored for the first time in 32 games. It was so typical that he would score against us. But I just said, okay, but wow, what a response. And Nico, like I was saying about Nico Riley, I mean, look, like to score your first Champions League goal against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu and one player of the match as well.
Yep.
Like
as a 20-year-old.
Yeah,
as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That, like, incredible. Yeah. I mean, I think Big Steve mentioned this. 2 years ago, he was playing against Chorley in an under 8, I think it was under 18s youth match, something like that. And now 2 years later, he scores and won player of the match against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. I mean, like, his mom should be so proud. And I think
just a little dedication.
Yeah,
just a little dedication. I think, like, I want to give a shout out to Nico Riley's family as well. I mean, they raised a very, very well-raised young man. I think for all even though he had, you look at him, he's 6'4", physically imposing, but underneath all that, he's still this quiet, shy character that you see in his interviews. Like, he's just like
it'd be interesting to see how he is like with his actual friends or around his people that because again we see we like I know my kids are they're like, oh, they're one way, but then you get them in a different setting, then they're a little different. So I'd be interested to see him come out of that shell and just be like this wild crazy kid or whatever. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, so that was our conversation about the Palace match. There's much more we could have talked about there, but I want to ask this question because also on Sunday, I think it was on Sunday when Newcastle played Sunderland. Sunderland ended up with the 1-0 win, but it got me thinking about just like rivalries and derbies in general. So I want to know from you all, particularly those of you from England or from the UK or who have been watching footy for a while, what is that the biggest? Would you consider that the biggest derby in England in the UK?
No, but I'm biased.
So okay, so that's I don't know. So I mean, but if we're being objective,
okay,
would you think that was the biggest? Because I know a lot of people were hoping to watch that match, but it was on at the same time as I think we were on. I forget who. It was somebody else that was playing.
So you're talking UK?
Yeah. Well, because I know, like, so there's Celtics Rangers, of course, but I'm just keeping it to England.
England. You want to keep it to England? I was going to say the Glasgow derby, but. So anybody in the chat, feel free to put your comments in there. If you're watching this on the replay, put it in the comment. I want to know, because I'm gonna do a show just on rivalries or derbies or whatever in sports, and so I'm trying to understand what would I think the biggest football rivalry in the UK is.
I don't even think it's a derby.
I know what you're gonna say, Martin. And I can't bring.
Is it so? Like, I know that United, Liverpool, they hate each other.
That's what I was thinking of.
I'd say United, Liverpool, or United, Arsenal.
United, Arsenal. One of those. United, but do they hate each other more than Sunderland and Newcastle?
What depends what you mean by biggest. Are you talking about atmosphere or
atmosphere, like just how so like if I said River Plate and Boca Juniors, that's like a big, huge rivalry. It's got a lot of passion, a lot of quote unquote hate. And maybe it's sports hate, but maybe there may be a little bit of real hate. I don't know. So just everything that goes into it, that makes that a big rivalry. Of course, the Celtic Rangers, of course, is a big one. I just want to know what is the biggest one. Because, like, yes, as a City fan, I know I'm supposed to hate Man U, right? I actually hate Liverpool, or actually I hate Arsenal probably even more than I hate United, because United haven't been good recently. And so it's like, I know I'm supposed to hate you, and I do hate you, but you're probably third on the list of who I hate.
It depends.
Luke, he said in the Championship that the Southampton Portsmouth South Coast derby is actually pure hatred. And I would say the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. I think that's
Tottenham and Arsenal.
That's definitely hope hatred as well. I would say, and I know if you want to keep it
Big
UK,
up, Luke.
if you want to be UK, but if you want to talk about like UK, but I'll probably say for me personally, biggest derby hatred of all forms, in my opinion, I'll say, if you talk about Europe, I could say El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think that's ridiculously hated.
So yeah, and I'm gonna do a show on rivalries in general, because I'm gonna ask people to help me rate these. I'm gonna do a complete show on it, so I don't want to go too far into that because I don't want to steal content from that. But just in the UK, but yeah, to your point, yeah, Barca Real Madrid is a big one. But definitely just
I know it's the UK, but I know people may not be fan of South America football, but I'll say River Plate, Boca Juniors. That's
going to be on my list as well.
Yeah, as well. UK, I'll say, for me personally, I'll say maybe Tottenham, Arsenal, and I'll probably would say Liverpool, Manchester United rivalry as well. That probably would say.
Luke says in the Championship, and I think Southampton, Portsmouth, somebody was reading it out, may have been Keeley, I don't know. Or Magnus, excuse me. As this is the Sheffield derby, East Anglia derby is decent, but not full of hate. And again, it doesn't have to be like we're gonna kill each other, but just there's
another thing to factor in here, and that's longevity. How long have you had this arch rivalry?
Fair.
So, for example, we've not got much of a rivalry with Arsenal.
Right.
We've not really had much of a rivalry with Liverpool up until recent years, but we've had a tremendous rivalry with United for a long time because of proximity.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I can name you so many memories. From my personal memory, I would say Sean Gota making Gary Neville look absolutely stupid with the third goal to make it. I think it was 3-3 when we beat Man United 3-1 in the 2002-2003 season. I remember that very, very well. And I think when we beat Manchester United 4-1 2003-2004, Shaw Wright Phillips scored a worldie. And I think we've had some very good victors. Of course, I think probably the biggest one was when we beat them 6-1 at Old Trafford. So I've so many memories from the Manchester derby over the years as well. And
I think it's also an individual thing as well. I think it's, have you got the battle scars? How many years has this rival club tortured you?
So for a lot of people, like for you and for Martin, and like if I'm going on with LB,
don't talk
you guys
about my battle scars, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
you guys talk about being kids in school and being ridiculed and picked on and all this stuff.
Fans. Older athletic fans
so I understand why for you this is that is the epitome. No one will ever you will never hate anyone as much as you hate hate United.
Greek at one point, I think his derby was Macclesfield Town. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We weren't even playing them enough. Yeah, fair.
The teams we played, Bury and Macclesfield, that have gone out of business and come back in one form or another since we've been on this journey. And Big Steve says it, and me and Big Steve have talked about this privately. No one's been on our journey because no one's been through our ups and downs. You name me another club that has gone literally from York City all the way to Istanbul to win a treble. in the
That's why-
space of what? 15
York
years.
City is
Yeah.
probably our lowest ever moment in history when we lost 2-1.
No, we got
away
beat by
in Wigan.
Mansfield in the auto windscreen in front of 3,000 people at Main Road.
Yeah,
That was
and it was
pretty
a-
low as well.
that was pretty low as well.
Halifax Town.
Halifax Town at
Town.
the old.
And
at
do you
the
know
old
what,
train.
like-
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
We
yeah. I'll say
played
what's good,
Darlington
but
in the FA Cup. We
this-
played
yeah.
Darlington in the
Yeah.
FA Cup, and they were favourites going in. I'm like, are we crazy here or what?
you like, there's one player that made me fall in love with Manchester City. One player that made me fall in love with this club in the first place, and that is Paul Dickoff when he scored that equaliser against Gillingham in the playoff.
Things I'll talk to you private about that.
Yeah, for me personally, Paul Dickoff was the
He's
reason why
gone
I
down
fell
a
in-
bit of the Mickey Richards road, though, Hong.
Oh
He's
no, that's disappointing.
A lot of people do look at Niall Quinn. Niall Quinn went from being a City legend into being a total tosspot when he walked over to Sunderland.
Yeah.
You seen that comment there from Dylan? See that comment from Dylan there? PTSD FC. Yeah, you're damn right. We got PTSD, but that was that is justified PTSD from those days. So now, when we're faced with what we're going through in the past few years, and I can't believe I've had to say what we're going through, right? Which has been a fantastic success, right?
Third in the league is a nightmare, Magnus.
This is like, why are you throwing your toys out of the pram? What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You know,
which is why you guys get hit with the happy clapper
thing.
Yeah, because it's whatever we're whatever we're doing, no matter how bad it feels, it doesn't feel that bad.
Bad. It doesn't, and it will never
then
be
you
that
get
bad.
we're a different club. We're a different club now. It's not them days, and I agree. But to someone like me and Magnus, we can't just erase them days out of our history and our brains and go, that never happened, because it did to us. Listen, I've said this to my son. My son's 15, and he's always said to me, he said, Dad, and even he didn't get the meltdown because he's got me as a dad, so he's not allowed to melt down when City lose a game. You know what I mean? There is perspective.
You've seen it all, Martin. That's why.
No, and it's like, do you know what? It's not even about seeing it all. It's like if you've been through. It's like someone who gets married and goes through 4 divorces, and the best mate comes up to him and goes, "I'm on the couch tonight because me and the other half have had an argument." It's like, you can't compare to the 4 divorces I've had, Sunshine. Let's not compare.
For me personally, I thought New York City losing 2-1 to New York City away was the lowest moment.
Yeah, and I was there. I genuinely was there at the time.
I remember that match very, very well. It just could not go as low as it can go.
See, I remember I went to a game with my dad at Walsall at the old Bescott Stadium. It's still there, but it's not the Bescott anymore. And there was, we played Walsall away. We only beat them 1-0. I think Goater scored. And me and my dad, we got invited by, there was a brewery called Bass. Not sure if anyone's heard of them or know who they are, but there's a famous brewery, Bass. And they were sponsors of Walsall at the time. And me and my dad and a few others, we got invited down to sit in the hospitality section. I mean, Jesus Christ, hospitality section.
I can imagine what that looked like.
That was giving it a nice name, that of a hospitality section. And Joe Royal in them days had sat in the directors area. And we could hear Joe Roll word. You could hear him word for word. That's how small this hospitality section was. And he's effing and he's jeffing, and we were missing chance of the chance. And Joe Roll just stands up and am I allowed to swear? I don't mean to be.
Oh yeah, well,
I don't, but you can. I don't want to get you demonetized.
I don't even have 200. I don't even have 200 people yet.
You'll get there.
I know.
Joe Roll say around and shut up.
I'm very, very sure you will.
How many fucking chances are we going to miss before we put one in? And I thought he was going to whip people behind him. I thought he was going to, bitch slap them round the back of the head or something. And then Sean Goater scored, and instead of celebrating, he went, "It's about effing time he did that."
To go and he will score.
Scrape a 1-0 win here, guys. So, I'm like, okay. But listen, I'm envious of these people who are young. Listen, of course they're allowed to have standards, and of course they're allowed to have their opinions, but for me, it's like you said, the happy clappy tag. I'm not an happy clapper. I'm just seasoned.
Yeah.
I can't help as much as they can't help.
You've been through much, much worse, basically.
Yeah, as much as they can't help supporting City when they're good, because you can't help when you're born. Me and Magnus can't help us going through the crap we went through. It's not a flex of who's a better fan and who's this, that, and the other. It's not.
Yeah, these have been your experiences, and they have shaped how you support the club. And other people don't have those same experiences. Their fandom or their support is shaped by what they have seen or what they have experienced.
And the only thing I would ever kick back, because I'm going to drop in a minute, I'm going to go and do a space. So when you're done, you're more than welcome to all come and join on the space. You don't mind, we go on until 6 a.m. in the morning. But the simple fact is, for me, is I don't want. It's when people say, "Oh, City get relegated. Why would I support? Why would I go there?"
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's when I kick that. That's
ridiculous.
Come on, stop that.
Because what are they saying when they say that? They're basically saying that I don't want to watch shit. Right?
Yeah, and I'm like,
but that's not why you're supposed to be supporting the club in the first place.
Yeah, because that's why the Leverkusen thing triggered me, Tariq. You probably remember it when we did stateside. It triggered me when I was hearing, if I knew it was that team, I wouldn't have bothered. I'm like, what? So you're only going when it's the main 11, and what we're doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So again,
that's crazy.
I'd be interested to know.
It's probably going to be the reserves. I'm going tomorrow night in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. So
it's
interesting. I'd be interested to know like who said that, Martin. You don't have to tell me like names, but are they from like the US? Because like in the US,
there were some local fans who said that.
Yeah, see, that's disappointing.
They were local fans. They're season ticket holders.
Yeah. So like in the NBA, they have this thing they call load management. So you don't know if you're going to see the star on that team when you go to the game because, well, they've played too many matches. They need to be rested or rotated or whatever. And so typically you would think, oh, if they're the star, they're going to play every match. You might go to the Inter Miami match thinking you're going to see Lionel Messi, and he may not play today, right? It is what it is. But you can't, and again, now would I pay thousands of dollars for a ticket that probably only costs typically $100? Well, yeah, if I'm going to pay $1,000, I definitely want to see.
Well, luckily, tomorrow's nearly sold out. I think it will be sold out by the time we get in there.
Good.
There's only about 500-600 tickets left.
I can't be there tomorrow.
Which is a big thing, actually, because I didn't think we'd sell out tomorrow.
Dylan said it might be the U11s. I don't know. We'll see. But you know what? Our U11s are going to be really good on the ball. They play the City way, so there's still a chance.
Me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing Husanov playing tomorrow because I'm Asian and I want to see Husanov do very, very well tomorrow.
So let's talk about tomorrow. Obviously, there's going to be some amount of rotation. We expect a lot of rotation, which is why we have Footy and Mikasa that have been training with the team. We expect them to at least play, even if they don't start. How much rotation would you expect or would you want to see?
I probably would say rotate the team, but I would say keep some of the main guys in.
Yeah, so like we rotated against in the Champions League we rotated 10 out of the 11 against Leverkusen, which is what Martin was talking about, and we ended up losing that match. So obviously, if you're trying to rotate but yet still win, I assume that most people still want to win the match. They're not just like trying to throw it away. Big up, Luke. Let me add you to the stage. Big up, brother.
Yep.
So we're talking about the match on tomorrow. How much rotation do you want to see? Do you expect to see in tomorrow's match?
Do you want to go for that, Luke?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a good question actually, because I think for me it's an important game tomorrow. I think the Carabao Cup is definitely a trophy that I think we should be trying to win this year. I I think, like especially with the newer players as well, to have the taste of winning a trophy, as we all know, in the 17-18 season, obviously, obviously it was an incredible league season. That Carabao Cup win was massive in terms of getting the confidence of the team up and getting that taste of victory. I think, obviously, I know, Haaland and Foden and that have had won trophies, but Shaki hasn't won. Marmoush, obviously, he's at AFCON, so Nori, Nori, but obviously, we're back after obviously January, so about them. I think for me, I would definitely. I can see a bit of rotation. I can, but I'd also think it should be a strong team as well to try and sort of get the result, because I think going for a full 10, 11 changes a game would be a massive risk. I mean, Brentford are a good team in their own right and deserve to be respected as well. So I know we're at home, but as we all know, in not just obviously Premier League, but any competition that you play in, any team can beat anyone on their day. So I think as long as we sort of, again, I don't mind. Obviously, I like to see Husnov play as well. I like to see certain players get a chance as well. But I think I definitely will play Haaland tomorrow. I think if we can try and get the game sorted as soon as we can, rather than sort of let it drag on. So obviously getting rested for West Ham. But I think the fact that we've got a good couple of games now, post Madrid and Palace, it should be all right. So yeah, but I'll play a strong team, but I can see a couple of players coming in, definitely.
Keeley said, I think Savinho has a chance to make a point with the Doku injury. Big chance for the lad to prove people wrong. And so my follow-up question to this was going to be, who do you think has the most to gain from this match? Who needs the biggest performance in
tomorrow?
Match?
Randers or Savinho, one of the two.
Yeah. Agreed.
Savinho for me. I would say like he's slowly starting to gain a bit of confidence from the fans, because like when I was at Crystal Palace, when he ran through to win us a penalty, I think the fans really appreciated that, and we definitely.
Kind of your audio kind of dropped out.
Fans.
I don't think he has 3 weeks to prove himself.
No, he doesn't.
So I think the thought here,
and someone might be in 3 weeks and might be. Listen, they're not going to sell Savinho.
No,
Savinho's not going to be sold.
He's so new deal. We'll just let him immediately afterwards. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I think the thought here is that he has basically the entire time that Doku is out, Savio has that opportunity. So that's that 2 to 3 week time frame that's been thrown out for Doku, that he can play on that left side. There's no Omar Marmoush, there's no Doku, so he can play without having to look over his shoulder. Be free, just go play. Stop thinking about it, go play, and hopefully thrive. But if he can't do it when there's no one else there, I think his chances are going to be limited, because you're right. We're probably going to bring in someone. And once that person comes in, I don't know how many other chances he's going to get.
I don't think he'll get a chance, because you're only going to have 3 wingers. You're only going to have Doku, Savinho, and Semenyo.
Wait, is that going to happen then? Is that happening?
I think Semenyo will happen now.
Yeah, cool. I'm up for that.
And listen, I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying in my opinion, I think it will, because he's agreed terms. I think his favoured destination is City. Whether City trigger all City have to do, I'm backing with Bruno's situation. All City have to do. All City have to do is trigger the release clause. Whether they now trigger the release clause, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the way I'm looking at it is, I'm told Viana is a bit more ruthless and will go earlier. So let's see. Big up Mulv. I'm presuming that's Mulv.
Yeah, it's Mulv. So big up Mulv.
Yes, I'm going to say with what I've heard, what I've been told. I think, you know what? I think
98%.
No, I think it's going to be how quick. It's how quick we can get somebody else out.
You said Savinho's up, but I would say Reinders as well.
Reinders needs a big game. I think many are panicking on Reinders, just my opinion.
Yeah, they are.
How many players will come into City and needed more than a year to hit the ground?
What about? So no one has said Oscar Bob. Do we think that we've given up on him?
I don't think Oscar Bob does tomorrow will change anything, Tariq.
I think Bob's out the door anyway. I think
Oscar Bob is sealed.
What about?
It doesn't mean to say he won't make any appearances. like he's played his last game for City.
I think
It just
tomorrow
means
will be the
that-
only appearance he makes.
Yeah, I just think it's
very
going to
sad,
be a
man.
case of, you know,
Very sad.
okay, can Bob, you know, can Bob?
Anyway, I'm gonna jump.
help
I
us
might
over the
actually
bridge?
jump
That's
back
it.
on from my phone, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
Cheers, lads.
Appreciate you.
See you, Martin.
It's really sad.
It's going
because
to
I
be
think-
interesting to see what kind of side Pep puts out. It'll show us how serious he's going to be taking this competition.
Yeah.
It's the first piece of silverware to win. I want him to have his cake and eat it. I want him to try and rest as many key players as possible, but at the same time win the game. And it's a bit of a balancing act, but the squad is good enough, I feel, to be able to make a fair amount of changes and still go through. It's that CDM position is a big concern for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do we do if we decide to give Nico Gonzalez a break? What are our options?
See,
Well-
I mean, Magnus, thing I'll say as well. If Cover was fit right now, it'd be ideal. If Cover was fit, because then you could at least play Cover as a pivot right now with Bernardo, it would be ideal. But when you got both Rodri and Kovacic out, and obviously Calvin Phillips is nowhere to be seen. I mean,
You don't think Calvin Phillips plays tomorrow?
I'll be real with you, right? I can't. I won't. I think we'll ever see him play ever again. I can see him just leaving the club. I mean, I want him to work massively. I mean, when you're in City, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
There's a match against Exeter City. Is that the name of the club? He's got to play there, right? He's got to play there.
I think I hope so for his sake. It's quite.
Yeah, he's
sad.
got to play there. Even if we just play him just to get him, just to put him in the quote unquote shop window, so other people can see that he can at least move around the pitch and come in for him. We got to move him on ideally, but yeah.
I would say against Exeter Tag, you're probably going to see the likes of Mfuni, Mukasa.
Which is why I
play.
think he could end up playing with that group, just because that is, we expect to win that match, even if we put the academy kids out there. That's how much of a gap there is between us and them. I think I looked at it. It's I forget 70. No, it was like ridiculous. It was like 20. I wrote it down somewhere. There's a lot of room between us in second and them. I think they were in 20th place in the third division
in League One.
So
they're 22nd in League One.
Yeah, so there's a big gap. We would expect to win that match regardless. So I could see potentially him playing there. So we said that Bob Keeley did mention, and I was going to mention Rico Lewis. We know he's going to play. And we've heard that he's a little discontented with his playing time and he wants to play more, which of course, why wouldn't he? He's a young player. I get it. Is there anything that he can do that changes his because at the end of the day, and I'm going to divert for a minute, Mateus Nunes, and I said this about Doku, right? Last season, we couldn't get rid of Doku fast enough. Get him out the club, get him out the team, get him out whatever, right? As a fan base, not maybe the four of us and the people in the chat, but as a fan base in general, there was a lot of conversation about getting Doku out. There has been a lot of conversation about how Mateus Nunes is not good enough. We got to get rid of him, get whatever. And he has been playing exceptional as our right back. Now, again, people would say, well, as soon as we can get Tino Livramento in, go get him, and we're ready to push Mateus Nunes to the side. And maybe there's something to that, but Mateus Nunes has been playing really, really good for us. Yeah. And I don't know that he gets the credit that he deserves. There's enough people that have come around to start, giving him some love, showing him some love, but I don't know that he gets what he deserves. He's probably been one of, if not the best right back in the league. And you wouldn't know that if you only listen to City. Well, you wouldn't know it if you listen to anybody because no one's talking about it. No one's giving him the credit.
He's flying under the radar.
He's been incredible.
And maybe that's a good thing for him because, again, there's no pressure. But I just feel like he deserves some credit because – and to Keely's point, right? Nunes is undroppable like O'Reilly at the moment. I think outside backs, or left and right back, have been exceptional for us. And I don't know, I haven't gone through all the squad lists for every team. I would be hard pressed to think there's a better combination of the two. Maybe Chelsea, right? Because they got what's his name at the left back position with the long hair. Cucurella. And then on the right, maybe it's Gusto, maybe it's Reece James, whoever they're playing on their right. So I mean, that's a good combination.
Reece James is playing more midfield, than right back. So,
and they've been playing Gusto out there, but then they moved him into into midfield a little bit. So again, I think it may not be the best combination, but it's definitely top probably 3 to 5. That combination of our outside backs. Just my opinion.
Our two fullbacks are fantastic, really fantastic, considering they're both real midfield players.
Yes,
they're both fast as lightning. You know, they're big guys as well, though, 6 foot plus, both of them, and they're both strong as well. And you get a combination like that as a defender, because that's where they're playing. That's difficult. I know people complain about, there's the odd bozo movement. Yeah, I know that, but I think a lot of that appears to have gone out of his game. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. Mm-hmm. So it looks like he's been working on that. And it's going to be difficult if we get Livramento, it's going to be difficult to get his place in the team. But the good thing about Livramento is he can play either side. Yeah. So that doubles his opportunities.
I like to think with the Livramento situation, I'm really sorry. I think we'll probably make the move if he does not sign a new contract with Newcastle. Because I think if he signs a new contract with Newcastle, I think that move's pretty much off.
I think he will anyway, by the way. I think Newcastle for me are in a weird spot where, like, are they guaranteed Champions League team every year? They're not right now. Like even this year, they're doing all right in the Champions League this year, in the groups anyway, but in the league, way too inconsistent right now. We're in December now, and I just think if you're Livramento, if you're even Voltemada, like I think Voltemada's have been pretty good so far. Own goal aside at the weekend.
Sure.
I think he's been pretty decent so far in his first season. Players like that, obviously, I can see him being here for like another year or so. Newcastle before deciding to move on, but Newcastle are that weird spot where I think a lot of their fans thought that they would be where we are right now. The difference is that when we actually got the money, we actually were able to get up there quick enough because it wasn't as competitive as it is now. Now everyone's got a bit money behind them. Yes, Newcastle got a bit more because all the rules as well come into play. They're not as far along as they want to be. Obviously, they won a Carabao Cup, which is great. It's brilliant to have a trophy. But they've already kicked on properly since then, and a little bit in a weird spot. I think Livramento, if he signs a new deal, then fine, fair enough. It's up to him, but I just really can't. I could, if Pep generally wants him, and the number 2 shirt is there, available right now, free right now, and guarantees spot right back on when he wants to play. I generally feel like he'll push through the move in summer, definitely, because especially as well with England as well. Obviously, I'm not sure it'll play right back for England. I don't think he will. Maybe a bench player, probably. But I guarantee you he'll want to be in that next World Cup squad in 4 years' time, and obviously Euros in 2 years' time after that. He doesn't make the squad. So I can see it being a real deal for him to happen.
So I pulled this up because I saw this tweet. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but Nico O'Reilly has recorded the fastest speed out of any other Manchester City player this season in the Premier League. 6'4". He's hit the highest speed. Which I think for a lot of people, sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, he's not fast or he's slow or whatever," and I'm like, I don't see that with Nico O'Reilly. Now, did I know that he had the fastest or he had the top speed out of everybody on our team? No, I didn't think that, but I wouldn't have thought he was slow. And so, again, this is where I say people aren't giving them credit because you see Nico O'Reilly right there at 35.9, 8 miles per hour. Mateus Nunes is 4th, right? So we have. And we think Savinho is fast. We think Doku is fast.
Where's Doku on there?
So he's in the top 5. So again, this just goes to show you to your point about our outside backs, right? They're midfielders, so they're good on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They both have blazing speed, according to this.
Yep. And they're tall.
And they're both physical.
Yep.
Nico O'Reilly, especially being 6'4", so they're physical, they're strong, they're fast, they're technical. What's not to love about our outside backs? That is, it has gone from wherever we were last season when we were trying to play. We were playing. What's our center back? We moved.
It was
Which one?
Oh, see, I'm showing my age. My
Laporte?
No.
How far back you going?
Gavardio. So Gavardio played left back, and he
Gavardio.
scored goals for us. Then we moved him inside. Nico O'Reilly went out there, but it went from being what I would say is a little bit of a problem spot for our club to it's a strength, in my opinion. It is a strength for us. Outside back is a strength position for us, in my opinion. We say we want to see Kuzanov out there. We talk about how Kuzanov's speed. We want to match him up against the Vinnies of the world. He's fast. Well, Mateus Nunes is almost just as fast. Nico O'Reilly is faster, according to this. So again, I just think that, again, we're always looking for opportunities to improve the club and improve the team that we put out there each week. But I just want to make sure that we give those guys love because in my opinion, they are playing exceptional. Big ups to Spartacus, the founder of the Savino or the Savio Defense Group. So you probably heard I don't know how long you've been around, but you probably heard me ask the question, and people were saying that they feel like Savio has to perform well, not just tomorrow, but in this period where Doku is out. He's got to perform well if he's going to continue to get opportunities. Tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong, Spartacus.
Is he going to take his chance, Paolo? Is he going to take his chance now?
I hope he does, but I also think that he's going to be playing on the left wing, and I don't think if he plays, and I don't think we're going to be playing the people around him to make him do well either, if we're going to play him on the left side.
If we had Aït-Nouri playing right now, I think Savio would be right, because Aït-Nouri's a good overlapping fullback. I mean, O'Reilly's decent as well, but not the sort of same player. If it was Aït-Nouri, Savio, perfectly fine. I think O'Reilly can overlap, but not really the same. It's more of a midfield overlap rather than an overlap on down the wing. So yeah, I get
O'Reilly tends to underlap more than overlap.
He goes under.
Yeah.
If you're playing Savio on the right side and then you play Chucky on the left side, then I think then a lot more pressure. There is a lot more pressure for him to perform. But then I don't know if that's asking too much of Chucky's two-footedness, right? I don't know.
Can you imagine if that doesn't work out? Can you imagine what the fans will be like?
Oh god!
Why are you not playing Cherky in his best position? You've put Savio there, and it's not working out. Can you imagine the fans?
Yeah. Well, but I also think that the same outrage will be there if Savio doesn't perform on the left. So I think that's kind of meaningless.
Kind of. Yeah, I see that too.
The thing is, like, even if he performs well, that'd be some sort of excuse. Because the thing is, this fan base can't actually admit sometimes when they're wrong on certain players, can they? Where's the flowers?
Yeah. And even if, let's say that he does perform, I think the first game that he has that is an average game, and we lose or draw, they're going to scapegoat him again.
Yeah, they will. Because we will scapegoat.
Okay, Paolo, seeing as you're the chairman of this organisation, right? Just let me ask you this question: What do you think Savio has to do to get the fans off his back and to just calm everybody down? What has he got to do?
Become Messi.
He does it.
Okay.
He gets blamed.
I think he should go. Like I don't think that the fan base is going to. I think they have made their mind up with lies and half truths from the summer, and now there's nothing really that the kid can do to just get. And I know that this isn't on the stadiums. This is more of an online fandom thing, but it's just so loud. And it isn't just like putting pressure on the kid. It's death threats. It's sending messages to his wife's DMs and shit like that.
Yeah, I said this. I guess it was last week, maybe, I don't know, but just the frustration with just footy fans in general. It's not unique to City because all fan bases seem to be doing it, and I think I brought it up in the context of Mo Salah. I don't think the club was ever saying anything about Mo Salah and benching him and all this other stuff. It was the fans. The fans, Arsenal fans, were crying out for him to be benched, and so when it finally happened, he's frustrated because it's like, oh, all this conversation about benching me. Well, that wasn't from your manager. Maybe internally it was, but what we heard was all these fans out here saying get rid of him, and then it becomes toxic. And it's the same thing that has happened with Doku. It's the same thing that has happened with Savio. It's the same thing that has happened with Mateus Nunes. And quite honestly, it's the same thing that happened with Kyle Walker last season, right? Kyle Walker put himself in some bad situations and and got himself in some trouble. But the reality is it was the fans that drove him away because he couldn't deal with all the conversation. It was the fans that were writing Ederson and his wife and all of those people. So, again, maybe those people are still here. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But it's a lot of it is the fans. And so I think we as a fan base have to be better. I agree with you. There is a lot of conversation about Savio. And that's why I said, and someone else asked about the 3 weeks, if he can just play without looking over his shoulder. Yes, it's on the left side and doesn't have to worry about Doku, doesn't have to worry about Marmoush, can just go play. If he can perform well, I think it'll go a long way to changing the conversation around him, because we've seen it with Doku. Doku is now like, he's beloved. When people saw the lineup for Crystal Palace, it was like, oh my God, where's Doku? Why isn't he playing? Why is he benched Doku? Yeah. Nobody knew he was hurt. So the conversation has completely gone 180 degrees on Doku. I think Savio has a chance to turn it around, but it's going to happen on the pitch. He's got to perform.
If he goes on a goal scoring spree, say a couple of goals in one game, a goal in the following game, etc., right? And he backs it up with a few assists as well. Do you think that's enough to calm them down?
I think yes, but I also think that there is a difference with the Savio situation and the Doku situation. Doku had pressure to perform, but it was just mostly criticism on the field stuff.
He didn't have the
Savio,
quote unquote £75 million offer that he wanted, that's what people are saying. That's what people are saying, right?
Allegedly.
Not only that, also is, I think it got to a point that it's on the same point that it got to Edison, Gundogan, Akanji, Kyle Walker, where the fan base is literally sending him death threats. And when it gets to this point, like, I don't know if there is a way back.
Yeah, that's tough.
To be.
That's a shame for a young lad. That's a shame. Now
the guy's 21.
Yeah, that's what I mean for a young lad. You can kind of half believe it with Walker coming towards the end of his career. He's self-inflicted wounds. You know what I mean? But with Savio, well, you could say that it's self-inflicted wound with the agent, but how much involvement he had with that, I'm not going to get into it. But it leaves a bad taste in the mouth for me. Yeah, for sure.
I just want Savage. Honestly, right? I would have nothing more for this guy to sort of turn it around and get his form up. And then, as I thought, if we had Doku and Savio both playing at a high level consistency, we got for me the best wing pair in the league. Maybe, but best wing pair. Well, not in the world. That's a big contentious topic, but in the league definitely, because I think both of them, like Doku, weighs on it. I've seen this season has been incredible. Savinho last season at times will show how good he really can be on, in terms of crossing the ball. Goals, I know, haven't really been there from as much as it should be, but the crossing he has is really, really good. Really good at getting assists to Haaland. So
The creativity in general.
Exactly. So if we just get that creativity back in his game again, and even the goals will obviously have to be worked on, but he's 21 years old. I'm not asking him to turn into prime Neymar here. Like, he's 21 years old. He needs to get himself to that level by himself. But I just want to see both wingers. Obviously, if it is Semenyo coming in as well, if it is Semenyo, Doku, and Savio as our wingers, I'm all for that. Obviously, Bob, we'll see what happens with Bob, but we just need. Look, I'm behind Savio, and I hope he does stay and stick it out and prove everyone wrong, because I think he's brilliant. I mean, he's a brilliant talent. I can see exactly why he's rated for how good he was in La Liga. I think what we got to do, not us per se, I think we're all behind him ourselves, but the ones that are getting at him need to realise that he's 21 years old. Just because Romano said something doesn't mean that he is absolutely correct in what he's saying. He's still here. He signed a long-term deal with the club. Let's shit behind him.
I agree, Luke. But if the club are going to be even-handed, don't you think it's fair to give Savinho as long as they've given Doku?
Exactly. That's what. Well, to me, I never go about any player, because at the end of the day, right? As long as they're here at the club. If they leave, they leave. It's what it is. You can't help but when a player leaves. But it's like, for me, every player while they're here should be backed. Obviously, depending on if they say even like mad about the fans, is a different story. Talking about a different context, but while they're here playing for the shirt and have their name on the back and going for it, and I'll back them. Right, we've got a young team here, by the way. Like, we've actually, I think for a season after last year, how bad it was to be second in the league, 2 off Arsenal, in a quarterfinal tomorrow or today, depending on what time it is for you guys. And Champions League, we're 4th right now. I was beating 2-1 at the Bernabeu after last year getting battered there 3-1. I'm actually really, really pleased how we're doing. I think, for me, negatives right now are very small right now for me. I don't get the reaction some people have on it right now. I really don't.
Spartacus, you know people
I was also
around.
like,
You know people are in the the circle of Savinho and everything like that. Have they spoken about how any of this has affected his confidence, or is he one of those young lads who's got a very thick skin and it doesn't affect him whatsoever?
look, I've said this to Martin before, and from what I've been told by people very close to Xavier, when he gets booed in the stadium, which happened a couple times, that doesn't really phases him. The thing that it really gets on his head and it's really shooting his confidence down is the I would say criminal activity that people are doing to him, like wishing death threats and just saying completely inhumane stuff to him online. And as a 21-year-old, it's very easy to say just shield it out and don't do it. Don't care about those things. But when you're a 21-year-old, it's hard not to do that. It's hard not to think about those things. So I would say that the big issue is really the online fan base.
Yeah, even if you're not 21 years old, when you have a new baby, I don't know if he's married or just girlfriend, whatever, but you got, you have those expectations, those obligations to other people. You are going to be concerned when you get death threats or people are saying whatever to, again, you can say whatever you want to me. He's a professional, and this, I'm not Savio, right? But I'm sure he's like, you say whatever you want to about me, to me, whatever, but leave my family out of it. Yeah. They don't have anything to do with this. They're not the ones out there playing or performing. They have nothing at all to do with this. So they shouldn't be included in any conversation. Now, you shouldn't be sending death threats to him either, but definitely not his family. That doesn't even make any sense, which is why it was always so frustrating when it happened with Ederson, because it's like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Death threats in general, though, bro, it's just disgusting. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's football. In the end of the day, right, we back our team week in, week out. Player FC has really put a damage on this fan base. Like, a lot of them just can't let go of agendas because they support a certain player. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're not, you support a team, not a player. Like, I don't understand it. I mean, it all comes from the Ronaldo, Messi. I know I'm not blaming them particularly for that, but it's all come from that kind of like movement of them two players of social media at the time. And now certain players of all other clubs are now being, given their supporters. And you even see it online after a game. You get some people still blaming like Foden for some things, even though he's playing really well. Like, I think, why are we going after players for certain things when he just played a really good game? It just baffles me how we've actually allowed this to happen. And it's affecting us. So it shouldn't be at all. Like, I'm sorry, you support the team at the end of the day. That's how it should be. Not a player. A player is part of the squad. However long they're there for. Of course, of course. If you have favorite players, of course, I have favorite players at the club. But it doesn't mean I don't.
Of course, everybody does.
So I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So all right. So we have the match, like you said. For me, it's tomorrow. For you, it's probably today. Big ups to time zones. But what is your score prediction for tomorrow? What do you expect the score to be tomorrow? And again, there's a lot that we don't know, lineups and all that kind of stuff. But putting that all aside, what are you thinking? I'll go first. Again, it's us versus Brentford. I think it's going to be close because I just think we're going to have a pretty rotated squad. I'm going to say we win 2-1.
Okay.
Wong, what are you thinking, Wong?
I'll go for a narrow win as well, Tarek. I'll go for 1-0 just to get. I think
1-0. All right.
I can't see us doing a high score tomorrow for me, especially with a rotated side.
Yeah, Luke, what you got tomorrow?
Well, I got Madrid right. I said 2-1 City. Palace said 3-1, so I think obviously get a clean sheet, which is good. So I've got the goals right so far. I think this one will probably be a bit similar to the Palace game. I know we're at home. I think we'll be a bit better at home.
Good point.
I'm going to go 3-1. I think Pep will play a strong team. I think strong-ish team. I can see him play Trafford tomorrow. Game. So I obviously hope over the clean sheet, but I don't really care. Like, win the game. No one's clean sheets are cool when you get them, but reality, as long as you win the game, that's what matters at the end of the day. So I'll go 3-1. I think Haaland will get 2 more goals tomorrow. But again, like Hong said, keep it simple. Just win the game. That's what. So
for sure.
I'll go 3-1.
Spartacus, what do you think the score is going to be tomorrow?
I was gonna go with a 2-1 win, but since you already said that, I'm gonna go to a 3-1 because I don't think Pep's gonna rotate as much as people think.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Magnus.
I'll go with 2-0. I think we might keep a clean sheet because we've done pretty well recently, even though we're probably going to change goalkeeper and some of the back four maybe. Like you say, it's difficult to forecast because we don't know what the lineups are and whatever. But I've heard as well that our opponents may be making changes too.
That's what I'm hoping. Now I've saw that too, so hopefully that's the case.
So if they
in all fairness, I think Brentford have made changes in the last couple of matches in the Carabao Cup, and I think
that's what I saw. Yeah.
I think I would like to think their priority is more towards the Premier League rather than the Carabao Cup. So I'm not saying Brentford will bin off the Carabao Cup. I think they want them to take this match as seriously as we do, and I feel like we haven't reached the semi-final of the Carabao Cup since 2021. So hopefully we can reach the semi-final. I think for me, I was saying it on Ian Cheeseman's vlog. I said to him, we need to give the new guys a bit of a winning feeling, like what it's like to win a trophy. And I feel like I'm speaking as a hypothetical. If we win the Carabao Cup, that will give them that hunger and desire to go for more trophies.
Which is how Pep has used it early on in his City career. How Mourinho used it when he was at Chelsea. You use it to kind of prime the pump, get that first one, get that winning feeling, get that winning mentality, and now we go on to try to win multiples after that. So if we're going to win multiple trophies, got to start winning the first one, and why not get the first one out the gate? So
absolutely.
All right, so that's tomorrow or Wednesday. Then we play on the weekend. We play Saturday against West Ham. We play before Arsenal, so that gives us an opportunity to go put some pressure on Arsenal if we take all 3 points. So I'll ask the question again that I asked earlier, because if we expect this to be more of a fully, our normal, if you want to use that term, our normal squad, our normal 11, first 11. Is there someone that needs to perform, or is it still just Savio? Someone said Reinders earlier.
I think everybody really like.
Who's gonna be key for us beating West Ham?
Foden.
Okay.
I think one of the big reasons why we won against two players actually that were very key for us against Crystal Palace were Foden, and he was a lot more showy, a lot more active on the ball. And the silent guy, which is Bernardo, which he was enabling other people to do what they were doing on the ball. So I think those two are going to be very much key against West Ham as well. So Foden being that connection between back line and front line, and being able to be a threat from outside the box as well, forcing the opposition to drag a defender away from the box and creating more space for both Haaland and Cherky to do something. And Bernardo just occupying those spaces, the right-sided centre-back, switching with Cherky, going to the wide area so that Cherky can come infield, staying as a right side 8, right side 6 at times to help Nico G, just knowing when to do those things and when to drop into those slots. I think those two are going to be very key.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. My love of Bernardo, well, Spartacus knows all about this. I just think he's a magnificent footballer. But I think Nico O'Reilly could be important.
Yep.
Keep an eye on Bowen.
I was going to say
he's a danger man, and it'll be a good test for him because you're talking about someone who's in the England squad. So it'll be interesting one to watch that. But I'm certain we're going to get the 3 points.
So give me a score prediction while we're here, Magnus.
Ooh, I'll go 3-1.
Spartacus.
I would say 3-0 again.
It's going clean sheet.
Well, I'm at the game Saturday, so
big ups.
Good lad.
well, so far, touch wood, I've seen a win every single time I've been. So I'm just please can we keep it going so far? I think I've been to like 8 home games now, won eight in a row now.
Don't jinx
so
it.
you don't have the Martin curse.
Yeah.
No,
it's the opposite.
The away form's a bit dodgy, we'll say that. The home form's really good. So I'm going to the Arsenal game, by the way. So
lucky underpants time.
Yeah, 100%. We'll win that game, 100%. But West Ham. See, West Ham for me, right? People think that will battle them, but I think West Ham have got a little bit of fight to do now. I'm not saying they're a good team. I think they've still got issues, but I think like the Brentford game, I think about like a 3-1. I think at the end of the day, right? I don't care if we're not battering anyone. It's 3 points right now. It's just if we're playing before Arsenal as well, just get the win, get the 3 points, get above them, and put the pressure on them at Everton. Because if they bottle it, then all of a sudden, look at that. Are the top or joint top of them, depending on the game.
Definitely.
Are Arsenal at Everton?
Everton away, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Now Everton have been cooked there 4-1, or they've won there. So Everton are a bit weird right now at home, but is what I mean. Everton are still a good team though under Moyes. So
yeah,
come on,
which again, it just puts that pressure on them, which was why we need to go and handle our business. We can't go and drop points because then we let them off the hook. We got to go get the win. To your point, we're doing score predictions, but at the end of the day, all we really care about is getting 3 points. If we give up 3 goals and we score 4, it won't be pretty, but I'll take it. It doesn't really matter. Just give me 3 points. Wong, what's your score prediction?
For this one, I'll go for a 3-0 win on Saturday against West Ham. I feel like I think Pep acknowledged in the press conference today that his priority is West Ham as well. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't feel the Brentford game is important. It's an opportunity for him to get to a semi-final. So I'll still feel. I think he'll put his strong side out against West Ham and win the game comfortably, and then just keep on rolling on. I would say as well. So definitely. Well, I will attend more games in the future. I think maybe my next game is probably going to be the new year. Probably, I think that's probably my next game will be. So, but I'm pushing for Forest away to attend Forest away and Tottenham away as well, and probably the Manchester. I'm pushing for those as well. Like I pushed for Palace, so I was lucky to be at Palace. So hopefully I'll get to those games.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 2-0 for the West Ham match. I think most of their strength is going to be on the wings, and I think I just gave big ups to our outside backs. I think they're going to handle business in that match. So big ups to them. I think they'll help us to get our win. So yeah, those are the matches. We talked about the women. We talked about last week. So appreciate all that, the conversation. So just running through transfers really quickly. I'm going to actually pull up. Well, so we know there's the rumors around for us, right? So there's the Mark, as far as incoming, there's the Mark Gahey, there's the Semenyo, Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton. I even saw, and I said this earlier, Esteval for $100 million plus bid for Esteval from Chelsea. Is there anybody, and I know Martin said Semenyo, is there anybody that you think is, I don't want to say a lock, but if you had to put money on one of those people to come in, who do you think it is? Is it Semenyo? Does everybody think Semenyo's the guy?
Semenyo, and then Gay after that.
Yeah. I think the Esteval thing. This Esteval.
I
like Esteval. I think he's a baller, but that sounds crazy.
I don't put any sense in that.
We'll be keen to sell Esteval to us.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. I'm for it, but it's just not that stupid.
This is interesting. I heard during the open training we had at the beginning of the season, there were complaints of how the women's team were treated. Oh, I think I remember this conversation. But yeah, so this goes back to the conversation we were having at the beginning of the stream, just in how women's team in general feel like maybe they've been slightly neglected by City. Again, if you go to the City website, you have to scroll way down before you come into any content regarding the women's team. But I did want to give them credit for the post and the picture that had Bunny Shaw with all of the other all of the other people who have scored 100+ goals for the club. It's not about just as a woman or just as a man, but as a club, these are all of the people that have scored 100 goals for us. And she's one of those people. She happened to be the first one that happened to be a woman. So big ups to the club for that. But yes, we want to see more. We want to see more support for the women. Again, when those big matches, we want to fill up the Etihad, not just the Joy, but we want to fill up the Etihad.
I'm going Chelsea at home. Yeah, I'm going that one. So that'll be good. Yeah,
that's going to be great. So hopefully we can just get more people supporting them, because again, we have the world's best two strikers, men and women. That combination. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, I'm just saying we have Holland on the men's side. We have Bunny Shaw, who is there. There's a lot of similarities there, and I don't know that she gets enough credit. So I definitely want to big up Bunny.
Oh. You see Erling's comment on Bunny's post. It's quite cool. Obviously, I think Instagram obviously put the post obviously of her doing a celebration.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I love that, Merlin.
I didn't see Holland's comment. What did Holland say?
He said, "Was it congrats? Like big up, congrats, and and yeah." So I do think, Ravin, I do think there's a lot of respect between both teams. I do think. I know it sounds a bit condescending, but I think I think there's a lot of respect there because
I like the acknowledgement.
Yeah,
100%.
Exactly.
You're not just either an afterthought or no thought at all.
The respect there.
That's interesting what Snoopy said there. That issue has nothing to do with the fans. That's a self-inflicted wound by the club. The same with the website. The website's got nothing to do with the fans. That's the club not making more prominence of the women's team. So come on, put things in order, City. Come on.
Like, we've got such a good women's team, by the way. Obviously, I think Greg's has done a great job, by the way. Since come in, I think the Gareth Taylor era got really toxic. We're going to admit that, especially with like Chloe Kelly leading the club. Obviously, a lot of players leading the club. Obviously, and I get the Kelly situation. I get how it's been since then, but I was a bit gutted when she was loaned out because I thought it was a bit weird. But it is what it is now. Obviously, we've got Virginia, we've got Iman Benny now, and they're obviously doing really well. But I think we've got a good team here that are building some really good here. I think Bunny Shaw and Miedemar are brilliant together. I mean, Miedemar is a fantastic player, so underrated. I mean, underrated. I think on defense, Jade Rose and Rebecca Knack are brilliant centre backs. Like, they're both so colossus at the back. Kirsten Kasparov, one of the best right backs in the league, all the best right back in the league to me, up there. She's incredible, and obviously is it Leila Uhabi as well. Like, we've got good keepers, good defense. Hasagawa is incredible.
Hasagawa is one of my favorite players. I said she was very much like Rodri as far as the way she controls the game.
Mini Rodri,
she's a mini Rodri because she's really tiny. But her ability to control the game is great. So,
do you know who she reminds me of, Tarek? Do you know who you said she reminds you of Rodri? She reminds me of David Silva.
Yes,
fair.
Miniature DM David Silva. Yeah, I get that.
She does those little pirouettes. She keeps hold of the ball. She always kickstarts the moves off. She's got great vision. She's a good player.
Shout out Carolyn though. Carolyn's an underrated player, by the way, in this club, because she's very talented. Very talented.
And we still have Mary Fowler to come back. We have a really good squad that should win the league this year. They should get into Champions League next year, not have to go through the playoff and all that stuff. So I'm excited about where we are headed from as far as the women's team is concerned. Of course, I'm always excited about the men's team as well. But I just, like I said, I want to see them get the same love that the men are getting again. And so it may never ever be exactly the same, but I just want to get them the same respect, because again, that's how we're going to keep a Bunny Shaw around and get her to sign a new contract. So,
you know what?
Sorry about this. This is so crazy. Haaland's on 147 goals for the club, just to let you know. He's got okay. I want you. Here's who he has to beat: the legendary Francis Lee, 148. Billy Meredith and Johnny Hayes, 152 goals. He's got the legendary King Colin Bell, 153. Tommy Johnson, 166. Eric Book, 177. And of course, Kun Aguero, 260. Where do you think he'll end up by before the season is up?
Talking about Haaland.
He's on 147, by the way. And he's only 30 goals away from Eric Book.
Well, I said this week. I said he beat Brook by the season. I think he will. I think he'll be second in the club by the season.
So he's got to score about another 30 goals this season.
He can do it
in all competitions.
To level with Eric Brook, by the way.
Right, another 30 goals in all competitions with half the season remaining.
I'll pull this back up. I had
what
it
do you
up
think?
earlier.
You can do it.
I don't know how to.
Right. Well, it'll be above Francis Lee by this week probably, and probably maybe Hayes probably, and
Johnny Hayes and Billy Meredith with 152, and
he could very easily be above Colin Bell by the end of this year.
Yeah,
calendar year. I mean, I think but it's incredible, like, because like you look at it, we've got Kev at 108. You got look at Phil, by the way. Phil.
I know midfield.
Well, I can see Phil being like at least like top 3 in the club.
When it's all said and done, because Phil will definitely. Yeah, I definitely expect Phil to get into this spot here. Well, if we're talking about over the rest of his career, yeah, he's definitely he's gonna be up here in this conversation for sure.
100%. Top goal scorer, I don't know. No, I think Haaland will be a Blitz Aguero in a couple of years' time anyway. I mean,
how many goals did and I should probably ask ChatGPT this, but how many goals did Frank Lampard score for Chelsea?
A shed load.
147 Premier League goals.
It was 220-something goals, I think.
Yeah,
Total,
220
all
altogether.
comps.
Chelsea.
It was
Yeah.
ridiculous from a midfield player. I know he used to take penalties as well, but from
And
a
that's
midfield player,
that's the difference. Foden is no penalties.
yeah.
By the way,
makes it even just that much more amazing.
Shout out Raheem Sterling, by the way. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, what happened? He left, whatever. But like, the 131 goals for the club is unbelievable. I'm sorry. I know he had his misses, but the guy was a
Yeah, I
big
know.
part of one of the. The bad thing is, it could be more than that. It should be more than that. That's how crazy. Like, 131 goals is incredible. It should be at least 150 something like that. Maybe more than that.
Oh, he could be top 4 if he
Easily
put them away.
So, also for the Champions League, he scored 55 goals in 54 games, and he's the fastest to hit 50. He's the fast. He's the
Oh, you're talking about Holland? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Let me bring this up because you're gonna laugh at this because this is just ridiculous. All right.
I mean, right.
Okay.
Here's a question for Gong says it right. Will Haaland end his time at City as top goal scorer, but maybe one of the best ever players to play for the club from the goal scorers?
Yes.
For the club,
best,
yes.
Best player is a debate because that depends on a lot of different factors. But I think definitely one of the best goal scorers by far. One of the best players by far.
Will he be our top ever goal scorer?
Yeah, well, me, he will be. For me, he definitely will be.
I think he'll beat Sergio.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
that's the question. Will he beat Sergio?
Crazy.
You think he will?
I think
okay, crazy. And guess what? He's the fastest to 55 goals in 54 games. Next on the list is Van Nistelrooy, 70 games. Messi, 73 games. Lewandowski, 82 games. Mbappe, 83 games. Ronaldo, 94 games. Benzema, 103. Haaland's hit 55 goals in 54 games.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
And
also, I was going to say this. He's only 4 goals away from beating Sergio Aguero's record in the Champions League. Sergio Aguero has 36 Champions League goals with us, and Haaland's on 33.
With us. Crazy.
Crazy, man.
So we were having the conversation about the men's and the women's and making sure that the women's team gets all the respect. Big ups to Ryjack, who just became a father for the first time. Probably about maybe about a month ago, if that. Baby girl. Maybe there's a City footballer there. I don't know, but we want to make sure that the club is in a good spot for when baby Ryjack comes around. So
it's absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, look. It's just so ridiculous. I think I was going to ask you this. Can he beat Ronaldo's record of 141 goals?
I think he will. He definitely will. I think he definitely will. Yeah.
What's he on now?
55
goals.
Right.
And Ronaldo, and the all-time top goal scorer for the Champions League is Cristiano Ronaldo, 141.
Yeah, it's gonna be. He's got to double what he's done already, and then add some to it. So again, he's got a ton of goals. That's why we know he can put the ball in the back of the net, or he was able to put the ball in the back of the net. So it's gonna take some work, and it's gonna take some time and some consistency. But the way he's been playing, you would say it's more likely that he will than he won't. But again, he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah. I know
he has to be injury free. Yeah,
he has to stay healthy. Also, I'm gonna pull up this page here, this transfer rumors. I want to just go through what this page is seeing because again, as you can see, Liverpool want Vert Sale, Inter Miami Barcelona star for Messi. That sounds crazy, right? We got to just jump into this and see what they're really saying because that's insane to me. Just again, it's just a headline. It probably doesn't mean anything. It probably doesn't mean anything, but I gotta at least see what they're saying. So Premier League rumors, Ruben Neves, longtime target. So Manchester United managers asked the club to sign Al Hilal midfielder Ruben Neves. Neves is a good player. So I would hate for him to show up at Manchester United. But again, he'd probably end up being what a replacement for what's their holder? Played at Real Madrid, Casemiro. He'd be a Casemiro replacement most likely. Yeah. Space in Man United's midfield could be made through the departure of Ugarte. Fellow Ineos own side Nice are exploring the possibility of a January loan deal. So they're treating Ugarte like we treat some of our players that we send to
Vita Hayes.
send him over to Girona.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we really came here to see. Having been underwhelmed by his performances this season, Liverpool have put midfielder Florian Wirtz on the transfer list already. They are looking for a fee of 110 million euros, 96.6 million pounds. And hope to cut their losses in January. Now, again, this source, Defensa Central, I don't believe this source, but even to put that headline out there, I mean, that's crazy to me. I think they would lose money. I don't know how much they paid right off the gap, but they might lose money if they did this 96.6, because again, of course, he wouldn't have had all the extras, but this doesn't feel real to me. But, hey, that's what they're saying. Next one, still working on a contract extension for Ibrahima Konate and want another defender to boost competition rather than replace the Frenchman. So, of course, Mark Guéhi, which we knew that was going to be on this list, and Borussia Dortmund's Nico Schlotterbeck are under consideration. So, obviously, there's been conversation about whether or not Guéhi would come to us. If both offers are on the table for Guéhi, City, Liverpool, do we think he probably goes to Liverpool? Does anybody think he comes to City in that case?
Here's the question.
His heart's still in Liverpool for me.
Which club is more likely to give him Champions League football?
So next season, Liverpool are iffy because, they're not playing very well. They got to put it together. However, he's going to play at Liverpool. He's going to be a option at City, maybe not the first choice.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe. Do we think he beats out Ruben Diaz on the right? And or does he replace Gvardiol on the left? That would be hard for me. I don't. Now, eventually, I could see him taking Ruben Diaz's place, but do we think that happens next season? We just gave him a new contract, I'm pretty sure. So I
think this is where we get into the realms of proper rotation, not just like injury or anything like that. Proper rotation, whereby you're resting key players for key games and rotating them around. Gvardiol can also play left back if needed.
Yeah, I would hate to do that to Nico O'Reilly, though.
Yep, I know. But again, if it's rotation, you're giving everybody a game off and then putting back on again.
Would Gay accept a rotation role? That's the thing at City, because he'll probably want to go somewhere where he wants to start.
Big ups to Ryjack. Thanks, guys. Wife was a Canadian national team gymnast, so thinking that'll be our girl sport. We've already lost one of our potential future signings here, so this is disappointing news. I guess I'm never gonna be the one that's running the club for. I'm not gonna step into Viana's role on the women's side because my first recruit, I'm already losing her. So there you go. Cisco Pancho says that, speaking of Guéhi, he would challenge Diaz and Gvardiol for sure. Plus, we will shed Stones and Ake in the summer. Yeah, I think there's going to be opportunities in the squad, but if he wants to be a guaranteed first team player, I think that's probably more likely at Liverpool than it is at City. So if he comes to City, it'll say he's okay with rotation, but it's more about winning trophies, which is what I hope he says.
That's what I'm hoping to.
Yeah. Chelsea winger Tyreek George growing frustrated with his limited minutes. I don't really know too much about Tyreek George, so eyeing a permanent exit this winter. Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham, Leeds, Southampton are among his English suitors, while RB Leipzig and Roma also keen.
Decent player, but not that good. I don't think he is decent. But...
All right, here we go. Manchester City ready to back manager Pep Guardiola with 140 million euro to secure two key targets: Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo And Newcastle right
We're
back
not getting
Tino
him We're
Livramento.
not getting him January. We're not getting
So
him.
again, this is talking about January. 140 in January, so that's basically 70 apiece. We know Semenyo is 65, I think, or 60, 65. So whatever. So maybe it's 60 and 80. 60 for Semenyo, 80 for Livramento. But this is saying January. Now again, I don't know. So this is, I think, a Brazilian. Is this a Brazilian? We lost Spartacus, didn't we?
I wish Marcus was here.
Yeah, I think this is a Brazilian source. I don't know if I trust. Whenever I've seen this source, I pretty much just like ignore it because I don't believe them to be legit.
Whenever anyone puts they put the amount that we've got to spend, I think you're chatting shit. Because I'm sorry, right? How would you know how much the club are willing to spend in January? You're not in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Like I get Semenyo. Like if you said like, oh yeah, we're interested in Semenyo delivery, yeah, sure, okay, that's believable. But if you put, we're gonna spend this amount of money, how do you know that? You want Viana? Like I just it's just anything like that. Just like always take anything I saw, especially in January, with a pinch of salt. Unless it's Jack Gorn, Sam Lee, or even Sam Bushkowski, or any of the club sources that you know, ignore it until you know.
Do we feel that Livramento is a priority above someone like Gahey for January? Do we feel that? Because if you think about the situation with Palace, they're going to lose him for free in the summer. So are we better off trying to offer them something in January?
Well, that's the conversation. I know there's been rumors about, and I don't know if it'll be in here or not, but there's been rumors about them looking at Oscar Bob. There's been rumors about them looking at Nathan Ake. So there is a deal to be made if we want to make it. But again, it's up to the player to see if he's really, really interested in coming to City or if he'd rather go. And again, if he holds out and he doesn't sign in January and he waits till his contract expires, then he gets all the money for the sign-on bonus. So you'd have to, as a player, and you have to weigh out, can I stay healthy for the next 6 months or however many months it's going to take before my contract ends, so that I can get that money. It doesn't do you any good if you get hurt. So
true.
All right. So Thiago Silva, that's neither here nor there. AC Milan goalkeeper, possible target for Arsenal, that's neither here nor there. As an American, West Ham United manager Nuno Espirito Santo eyeing a move for Coventry City striker Haji Wright. Haji Wright is an American. It says it there, United States international. I don't know if I don't know how well he's doing for Coventry, so I definitely don't think he's going to be a consistent goal scorer in the Premier League. I like him, but I don't know if that's a good move for West Ham United. But whatever.
Tariq, he's got 8 goals in 17 matches for Coventry.
It's not too bad. I mean, that's a goal every other game, basically.
Yeah.
How does he perform for the US?
He doesn't really play. He hasn't really been playing consistently because we've been playing Flo Balogun, former Arsenal player. Balogun has kind of been our main striker. Then we've got Ricardo Pepi, who's playing for PSV. We got another couple. But now when he did come on, he did score earlier in the year when he got game time. He just hasn't consistently been playing. I don't expect to see him. He might be one of the last people on the plane to the World. Well, we don't have to go on a plane. We're right here for the World Cup, right? He might get the last spot, but he's gonna be on that edge if he can get in or not. I don't think he will, quite honestly. So again, we're talking about Mark Gahey, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Tottenham. Everybody and their mama wants Mark Gahey.
Right again. What Gahey's in it United?
Yeah. On, so then it goes into La Liga. Anything interesting here?
Julian Rice to Barcelona. Christ. Okay, have fun.
See, I don't know this guy, but want a new right back.
Ryerson's all right. He's a Norwegian fullback for Dortmund. He's decent, but he's not that good. He's all right, but wouldn't say he's Leonard Carl Madrid. Oh, here we go.
I was gonna say
it starts now. Here we go. Leonard Carl
could have signed for Real Madrid when he was 10, but his father was left unimpressed. So again, I don't know.
What is that source?
But yeah.
Sport. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. So again, this is the same source that I said earlier that I don't know if I trust, but Atletico Madrid prioritizing a January move for Man City defender Nathan Ake as they chase a low-cost option capable of making an immediate impact.
Can't see Ake again if Atletico. I really can't see it happening.
So who are Atletico's center backs?
Hanko, Jimenez. I think Savic is still there. I don't know. He's at Turkey now. I think. Hermoso still there. Was he still there? I don't know. Some of the things have gone recently, but I know that they've got a few players that are playing there right now.
No, they got Hanko. The centre backs played in the weekend were Hanko and Pubil, and they still got Jimenez. Yeah. They still got Jimenez, Lenormand, who's a Spain
Lenormand, Lenormand,
who plays for Spain as well. And Jimenez is injured at the moment. He's out with a hamstring injury. So yeah, those are the centre backs at the moment.
Please tell me they're not considering playing him at left back.
They would be devastated.
Well, have fun, okay.
So let's talk about this for a minute, right? So I saw not about Ake per se, but going back to the conversation about Tino Livramento, I saw Newcastle fans that were like, "Take him, you can have him." He's not as good as, say, what's the guy who Kieran Trippier? He's not as good as Kieran Trippier was when he was younger. If Kieran Trippier, they didn't think they did not think he was good enough to lace Kieran Trippier's boots. Do we think he's an improvement
on
Tino Livramento? Is he an improvement on what we have right now?
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, go on, Luke.
Sorry,
because they put him in the conversation of, well, not in the same conversation, but his game would be similar to Kyle Walker, where very defensive, but not great going forward. We're not gonna see the ball that Nunes floated in for Haaland. We're not gonna see that from Tino Livramento.
No, you're not. You're not gonna see him getting to the byline much either, to be honest. What you are gonna buy, you're gonna buy a fullback who's capable left and right side, and his priority is gonna be on defending. And he's been trained that way since he was a little kid, and that's what he's good at.
All good, brother. Sorry, I cut you off. I was just
it's okay. No, I was just saying that basically you're buying a proper defender.
Yeah.
Right. That's his primary focus. Both sides. So he's good. He's good for that role, but don't expect him to be, getting to the byline, putting deadly crosses in like maybe Nunes, for example. He's just not that type of player. But if you're going away and you're in a European Cup semi-final or something like that, and you're protecting a lead, that's the kind of player you would want. You would want someone who can properly defend, and that's what he's done since he was a little kid.
Yeah. Fair enough. So back to the rumors. Inter Miami officials have started hunting for a house to offer to Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski ahead of a potential move for the Poland international next summer as Lionel Messi's strike partner in South Beach. So we know Messi has been playing with Busquets and Alba. Alba is going to be gone. Busquets is going to be gone.
Suarez probably go as well. Suarez probably going to retire probably, or go Uruguay probably. So.
Oh yeah, Luis Suarez. So there could be room for him, especially if all those players move. And Inter Miami have done a really good job of going and putting pieces around Lionel Messi, not just footballers, but people that he's comfortable with, and then has allowed him to shine. I live closer, much closer to Chicago than I do to South Beach or to Miami. Of course, went to school in Miami, love it. But Chicago has a huge Polish population. Would be great for Lewandowski if he wants to leave. But what they don't offer in Chicago is playing alongside Lionel Messi. So he probably makes that choice.
He is a great player, though. I mean, he's obviously past his prime, but what a fantastic player. If you're talking about moving into space, knowing where the goal is, he's just a great player.
I don't know Marek Jozwiak. Again, I'm probably butchering that, but it looks Polish. Polish, so might actually know what's going on there. The next thing says he's growing frustrated with delay in talks over a new contract, so maybe this is just posturing for a new contract. Ask the board to make a definitive decision on his future soon. If you're Barca, do you give him a new contract? I don't know that I do. He's got to like we said about Salah, right? At some point you got to fall off because of your age. Lewandowski's got to fall off at some point, right? He's got to stop scoring.
Yes, I think that's imminent. Like I said, the first things that normally go are your legs. So if you're looking for a ball over the top for someone like that, he's not going to be able to do it. But if you want to play with your back to goal,
yeah, which is where he thrives.
He's perfect. He's perfect for that.
Yeah,
and that's like you say, that's never really been his game. Speed. It's the intelligence he's got, and that's one of the last things you lose.
Yeah. All right. So that's that. We'll kill that there. Florida doesn't collect income tax, so that's the real reason any of these guys go to South Florida. Yeah.
Good point.
Very, very good shout there. Inter keeps shuffling and scamming that player exception. So again, these are some of the rules in MLS that don't have any kind of a corollary in any other leagues, but it's MLS being MLS. So, the Chicago Fire would be able to offer him a deal since KDB turned him down. So again, I think that would be a good spot. I would love it. They're opening a new stadium in the next 2 years, so Lewandowski as your anchor would be great, but we'll see. I think this was in regards to the question of should you give him a new contract. Snoopy says I don't think so. Farron is actually playing well as a 9. If they exercise the option in Rashford's contract, they have a backup 9. I don't know if they exercise Rashford's contract. Rashford, well, I saw rumors that he basically told them I'm not taking any cut rate deals. Pay me all of it, or I'm not giving you any deal. And I don't think they're going to have any money to do that. So I don't know how that works for him. But big ups, everyone. Thank you so much for joining for the stream. Again, I'm here every Tuesday night. I kick this off at 6:30 my time, which is 11:30 for those of you over in the UK. If you're on the West Coast in the US, then it's only 3:30. So you're probably still at work. But to do this every week, every Tuesday. So we'll be back again on this coming Tuesday. But I certainly appreciate everyone for jumping on. Thank you to everybody on the panel that jumped in, was willing to have a conversation. Wong, thank you for jumping on. Luke, you want to? Oh, so Wong, you gave your information about your channel earlier. Luke, you want to give the people your details?
My channel is its_Huang_Trong.
Yep.
Yeah, I put it in the chat already. I'll put it in the chat right now. Actually, I'll put it again just in case. Actually, give me a second. I'll do it now. Let me just let.
And then while he's doing that, Luke, what about you? Not in my lifetime.
You can have a Not My Lifetime podcast. We're doing a reaction to the game tomorrow. It's been a bit busy few days. I did a couple of little short reactions things on the channel. What I could do, unfortunately. As you know, Tariq, sometimes when you've got a live going on, trying to do everything, it's not always easy to sort of get stuff out there immediately. But tomorrow we'll do a reaction to the game tomorrow with Bevo tomorrow, so that should be good. So yeah, but if you want to go watch more of my stuff and Bevo's stuff, NIML Pod on YouTube. Subscribe to us there.
Yeah. Again, appreciate everyone. If you haven't already, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers between now and the start of the year or the end of the year. So you know what? I don't want to give too much details away. But if you get me by the end of the year to 200, that would be a great birthday gift for me. I won't tell you exactly when my birthday is. I don't want to dox myself too much. I almost did it, and I had to catch myself.
No.
I give a lot of information out, not thinking about it. It's just like, whatever. But no, it would be a great birthday gift. So I'd appreciate it, all your support. But more importantly, I just appreciate everybody being here each week. So big ups to you. Thank you again. And we'll see you again next week. Appreciate it.